Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the number one spiritual UFO talk show, Encounters. I'm your host, CmdrAleon. We are on here. Hey, Alicia, Kelly, Don, Remote View, Becca, everybody coming in here. Good evening, Jacqueline. Good evening, everybody around the world. Sam Swan. Good evening. Kay, Anna, everybody. Caroline, Marpio. Let's see, Precious. Hey, Becca, Johnny. Kit Kat, welcome. Hey, everybody. Good to see you here. I am so excited. We are getting into Friday. Hey, One Toyota, good to see you, brother. Ascend, welcome. Welcome, everybody. Jim, good evening, Jim. Paul, 345, good evening. Carl, everybody. Angel, I think Angela. Ada, hey, Ada. Edward, good evening, everybody. Blessings to everybody out there around the world. Amelia, Dan Mercer, Charlotte, good evening. Paul, thank you for the roses. Hey, Jay, Barb, Etheric, good to see you, Etheric Mystic. Hey, Marinate, peace, love, and light to you. Not just Nicole, welcome. Good to see you. Nicole Carter, welcome. Mark, welcome. Hey, not just Nicole, good to see you. Janet, welcome to the show. Ken, Mad Mike, J69, welcome. Robert, I'm saying welcome to everybody. Karis, thank you for the likes. Dana, George, thank you for the follow. Ryan Morgan, Real Willie. This is the number one spiritual UFO talk show on social media. And I'm your host, CmdrAleon, host of WESU's Astro Command radio show for 21 years on NPR Pacific Radio in the United States. I'm also, for new people, I'm the man from Mars. I work in Cosmic Christ Consciousness. Mike, we might be able to, if I know a little bit more about your story. Hey, man, have you seen my profile pictures of the sky I took looking for some answers? Give us a little bit more story background. Hey, Katie. Sonja, good evening. We appreciate everybody being here. And we're getting hey, Lila, good to see you. Right, a boy. Also, for people that are new to the show, I'm not from this planet. I am actually, hey, J Cool Cat. I'm actually, before coming to Earth, I'm a star seed, meaning I chose to come here to do mission work in the 1960s. And hey, you UFO guy, good to see you. Jard, thank you for the heart. We appreciate it. So I say to people on here when I do my show, I never assume everybody knows who I am. Hey, Deborah, sassy little mama, good to see you. I know there's always new people coming in here. We Soul, welcome to the show. Jay, love to you as well. And so on this show, we do an actual talk show on TikTok. Unlike a lot of things I've seen here since I've been on TikTok, we actually do a talk show, and we're a background, we're a contactee since the 1960s. X-Blade, good to see you. So when I say contactee, I've always had positive contact, never negative connection. I came from the highest levels of light into this human experience, and it's been a humbling experience, to say the least. Ellipsis sunrise in Cranbrook, BC, got the sun and 2 moons for 30 seconds. We'll have to take a look at the Hey Bobby Rocks. Hey Bobby Rocks. And the Bobby Rocks is another good brother who's busting the matrix on Earth. And he does bust the matrix. He's out there to do what he's supposed to do. Sonja, thank you for being here. I'm excited to see Saturday. Hey, Scrubs USA. Yes, we're getting very close to the big event. And Mother Nature is working with us. I think the Astro Command is working with us too. Well, of course they're working with us. Karen D2, thanks for joining us. So if you're not familiar with what's happening here, for weeks now, have planned for weeks and weeks and weeks. We've been waiting for this moment to occur. And I'm so excited that we're going to be broadcasting it Saturday night from Connecticut in an apple orchard. So what's happening for new people, just to give you some background stories, we're going to be not meditating and going out of our bodies onto a spaceship. We're not going to be doing a Merkaba thing. We're not going to be having a crystal ball in a field with us. We're not going to be throwing cards up in the air and having them fall down on our heads. We're not going to be using a pendulum and singing Kumbaya. No, we're going to be doing something that is extraordinarily real. And what are we going to be doing? Some of you know, some of you don't know. You know, all these well-known people who speak at UFO conferences all over the world, all these well-known people that go to every UFO conference, they speak at every conference. They have their books out, they're speaking. Some of them are former military people. It doesn't mean anything. Because what really has meaning is you. Each and every one of you has meaning, has worth. Each of you are here for a purpose, a reason. You know, who cares? These people that have these big UFO conferences. Really. What we're going to be experiencing Saturday night, you're going to experience, even if you're not located where we're going to be. Because we're going to be broadcasting everything live Saturday night. And if you're wondering what's happening, don't hesitate to ask if you're new to the program. Because it's going to blow your mind. You see? We've been building up to this day. Hey, Cliff, good to see you. Good to see everybody. We've been building up to this day for weeks. One of the things you'll learn about the commander is that in my journey over the years, before there was internet, you know, I've had times when people tried to trip me up. When I say trip me up, they tried to take me off the path of what my light is, take me off the path of my mission work. It doesn't work. You know, we're always one step ahead. You know what I mean? And with social media, I'm always one step ahead. Once in a while, maybe I get, taken. But the commander always walks the walk, always talks the talk, and will actually be that action. Not just me, it's all of us together, right? Always having to be who we are, and a beautiful thing, hey, frequency. Hey, and I've documented, hey, frequency, we have to have you share some stuff with us tonight. So what's going to be happening Saturday is we're going to be doing a special live broadcast on TikTok. Not on YouTube, not on Instagram, not on Facebook. Here where it counts. And what you're going to be viewing is a surprise, because we're going to be as surprised as every single person out there around the world Saturday night. We have no idea what's going to happen. The beauty of it is we really don't know what's going to happen. We're not going to make up stories. We're going to tell you, oh, there's going to be this huge, huge tomato landing in the field where the apples are, and a bunch of tomatoes are going to come out and say hello to us. I'm just kidding. Ah, good, Lisa. I'm glad your migraine is better. So Saturday night, we're going to do something very, very important. This goes beyond C5 or Stephen Greer or any of that stuff. We've been, those are just say, hey, Johnny, good evening, brother. So at least 4 of 5 of us, we're going to have more people than 5 people in the field. But out of that, there's 4 of 5 of us, to give you the backdrop story, that are going to be we're supposed to be together. The command off planet wants us together. They know one of us cannot be, and they understand that, and I do. And Johnny, we hope everything, you're going to be with us, brother, whether you're able to make it or not, to Connecticut. We love you, brother, and you're going to be with us in spirit. So don't even worry about it, because you're going to be with us in spirit. You do what you have to do, man. But the truth is, there's going to be 4 of us together. April, myself, Kit Kat, Chesno, and Johnny will be with us in spirit. You'll still be with us, man. You'll still be with us. Hey, Amanda, good to see you. Midnight, take pictures of the UFO. So if we see anything, we're not going to be looking at UFOs. We're going to be looking at, if we see anything, and it's going to be a surprise, and we have no idea what we're going to see, all I know is we're going to record it and document it. We're trying to keep it as honest as we can. We've just been told that we're going to have this experience. My friend in California, Ashtar Athena, who's not on TikTok, she's in her 70s. She's one of the original contactees. And she's my cosmic mom, so to speak. You'd love her. She used to write for Sedona Journal. She used to be a broadcaster on BBS Radio in California with the voice of the Ashtar Command. Just a view. Hey, Rod, good to see you, brother. Hey, Edward, good to see you. So we're now close to the weekend. It's going to be raining tonight and tomorrow in Connecticut. And then it's going to taper off and it's going to start clearing up towards, I believe it's going to start clearing up towards the Friday night. On Saturday, the weather conditions here are going to be, early in the day, there might be like a brief passing shower. But the conditions for the most of the day and the night are going to be into Sunday, partly clear skies to clear skies. Hey, sweet peas, welcome to the show. So I'm doing is I'm prepping. I've been watching the weather. I've been, watching everything. When I'm not on here, I've been really watching the weather. And I know the command is going to be helping in a sense of making sure the skies are where they should be so that we can actually document everything. Young Skywalker, welcome to the show. Good to see you, brother. So we're getting real close to the weekend. The energies are incredibly high. Linda Lovely, good to see you. Many blessings and love to you. Thunderbird MU. Norman Higgins, welcome. I think it's JSYK. Jesse Valquez. Candido, welcome. Thanks for the likes. Roger, welcome. So we had Annette, welcome to the show. I just have been noticing some people coming in, so say good evening. 534. Charlene, welcome. So for those that are just learning about this really amazing thing, it's real. For over 70 years on this planet, in this current history, there have been many people, the contactees specifically, that have passed away, who wrote books about their contact with Venusians, people that men and women look just like us from other worlds. That was the beginning, years ago. The 50s, the 60s, Jersey for Life. Yes, we'll be broadcasting it live, Jessica. We'll be broadcasting it live, and the command wants us to broadcast it live because they're transparent as we are. They're transparent as we are. So the things that are happening here are going to really be happening here. Now, you've never seen April, myself, Chesno, and Kit Kat. You've probably seen us on here on my lives, but you've never seen us together physically in a field together. It's supposed to be like this. The Ashtar Command actually chose the individuals. There'll be more groupings around the world that will be being connected by the galactic people of light. They're going to be connecting with people. Jessica, why don't they just show up for the world to see them in the populated areas? It's not time yet. Everything is in divine timing. Great question, but it's all divine timing, and things will happen gradually. The galactic forces of light will gradually be showing themselves in what you call populated places all over the world. But everything has a purpose because everything has to be in divine timing. There's a thing called divine. The word divine means a divine level of light. The timing is not when human beings want it to happen. It's like, why don't you show up at my house? It doesn't work that way. That's the human mind perception. Your mind says, come on now, show up already, will you? Sometimes we have to tell our minds to just, please be quiet. If you meditate, Jessica, and go into the center of your being, into your heart center, which is not the physical heart, the spiritual heart, you'll understand exactly what I'm saying, that everything is going to be happening soon. But there has to be some level of understanding as to why it's happening, how it's happening, where it's happening. The galactic fleets that are coming to Earth are coming in massive numbers, more than human beings have ever understood. In the light worker community, if one is truly a light worker, they do understand, hopefully, that everything is going to start happening soon. The timeline has been changed. I'm really amped up here tonight, so I'm certainly going to answer questions. The timeline has been shifted. The human mind doesn't sometimes understand how things work in space. The human mind really actually doesn't even understand anything about space. It really doesn't. It only understands the human mind. The spiritual you, which we all have a spiritual you, when we turn the mind off and go to the spiritual you says, yeah, man, when it's going to happen, it'll happen. I'm cool with it. But the mind says, I want it right now. It's like yesterday. The mind says, why don't they just show up right now? Turn the human mind off, turn that switch off on your mind, because what's going to happen will happen when it's supposed to, not when we say it should. We have no control of it. We as human beings have no control over it. When we start giving up control of when it should happen, it will happen. When we try to control when it's going to happen, it won't happen, you see. That's the answer. When we stop controlling through the mind when we think it should happen, then it will happen. If you're not tapping, you're napping. That's right. I like that. That's good, Charlotte. So get this deal, okay? When we broadcast on Saturday night, you'll see whatever we're going to see, you're going to see. There's not going to be CGI, or there's not going to be like little plastic spaceships in front of the screen. What we're going to show you is whatever we see. And they've stated it's going to be a surprise. And I'm probably going to bring April up here because we're so close to the weekend. April, myself, Chesno, Kit Kat, 4 of the 5 people. When the Kit Kat's in here, I'll bring Johnny up too, even though he's not going to be there. He needs to be on here too. So you're going to get to see all 5 of us on here, okay, that the Ashtar Command selected from the ships. We had nothing to do with it. We have nothing to do with it, you know. So once I see if Kit Kat's here, Johnny, I'm going to bring you up too. I'm going to bring April up here, and I'm going to bring Chesno up here if he's on. We're going to have everybody that's in our contact part of the group here, okay? Oh, you're welcome, Johnny. So I've decided, as we're getting towards Friday, I'm not going anywhere Friday. I've got the day off. Hey, Miss Lisa, good to see you. So I'm going to bring the other 4 people up here who are part of the contact group. And a DMC Jedi, is it? You don't want to be abducted. I'll have to give you a little bit of a helping hand there. You don't want to be abducted. So right now I'm going to bring up a few people. Kit Kat. Hey, Kit Kat, why can't I? Well, that's interesting. Kit Kat, how come I can't bring you up live? That's kind of weird. Wait a minute. Hey, Kit Kat, why don't you press the guest button? Oh, yeah, I can bring you up. I'm going to bring up Kit Kat. Oh, that's what I can do. April. And hey, good evening, Kit Kat. I don't know why I can bring you up. Bring up Friends with Fairies. I'm going to bring up Johnny. Johnny, you there? What's going on with my lighting? Okie dokie. Let me just do this. I bring everybody up, and all of a sudden my face goes. Okay. Let's see here, and let's see, Johnny, you there? Let me see. We're gonna bring Johnny up here. You're gonna meet, and I'm gonna invite Chesno. I don't know where Chesno is right now, but we're gonna get him in here. Okay. Let's see if Chesno is on the air. Let's see, Chesno. Okay, I just invited Chesno. Johnny, we're getting Johnny up here. Johnny, are you out there, man? I'm going to get Johnny on here. Let me see if I can pull him up. Oh, there he is. I'm bringing Johnny up right now. Okay. Why did my screen just do that? Okay. No big deal. So we have April. Everyone say hello to April. Say hello to Johnny of the Third Kind and Kit Kat. And also, we're going to bring Chesno up here when he comes on. Uh, so I'll say good evening, April.
Hello, everybody.
And even though my face just went like ridiculously into a different state, hold on a minute. Okay.
Hello, everybody. Hi.
Hey, April.
Let me get my
Hello.
light.
Hey.
Hey, hey. Let's bring the lighting up here, man. Okay. Oh,
Hello,
not gonna worry about it.
everybody.
Good to see you. Hey, there, Johnny and everybody, Kit Kat. And we will bring if Chesno's around, we'll bring him up too. So basically, you're going to see 4 or 5 of us in Connecticut. Johnny, I know, has some things happening, but he'll be with us in spirit.
Absolutely.
And you know, uh, so we when Chesno is here, we're the 5 people that the command is going to be having do mission work off planet. We're going to not at this event Saturday. We're going to not be going on any ships, although just to let people know we are going to totally document everything that's going on. So when we document this, you're going to all see what we see Saturday night. So it's very important. So I'm gonna go around to the 4 of us right now, and I'll bring Chesno up if he gets in here. We'll bring him up too. I'll start with April, then we'll go to Johnny, and then Kit Kat.
Hello, everybody. It's nice to see y'all.
Good evening, everybody. Good to see everybody here.
Hi,
Go ahead, Kit
April.
Kat.
Oh, so good to be here.
So, Commander, did you get the video I sent you?
I saw the video of the ships.
That was
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, I saw the videos of the ships up in the mountains. That was beautiful. I shared that too. It was very, very beautiful.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool. I was like, there's 7.
Oh my gosh, you know. And I think our parents on the ship. We have parents, believe it or not. Let me give some background. Um, so my father, not my biological father here on Earth, who's no longer here, but my father on the spaceship. His name is Rubar. My mother's name Luna. I have 2 sisters. I found out, and I have one brother that is on the physical spaceship of one of our ships. Um, and April has been on the ships now 11 times already, or am I totally off on
11.
that? 11 times.
Well,
So 12 times.
it's
So
11, but there was a 12th that I haven't talked about because it happened last night. So,
I knew something was happening. It's amazing with you. So now 12 times. So we're going to get into the 12th time tonight a little bit. But the most important thing you're going to learn, folks, is that our parents, um, they said to April, this is a belated birthday present to the commander. That's that's what they told her. My father said that. You can see me better now. I have the lighting much better. Can you see me better? A little bit better anyway. So they are planning to do whatever. They're going to surprise us Saturday night. And all I know is that they're going to surprise us. I don't know what they're going to do, what they're not going to do. None of us do, because they're going to surprise us. But we're going to be live, and Kit Kat's going to be there. Chesno, Johnny's going to be there in spirit. And so, in essence, those of us, 4 out of 5 of us being there is not too bad, and Johnny will be there again, like I said, remotely from his location with us. So it's a beautiful thing. When this occurs, we're going to take some pictures. Of course, we're all going to be together. Now, you've never seen any of us together except on TikTok. We're all going to be together. April, myself, Kit Kat, Chesno, and Johnny will be on here with us, at least visually, through the virtual things of the TikTok. Okay,
Absolutely.
So I'm just getting people ready. I said tonight, what am I going to do? What am I going to talk about? I think it's just getting ready for the weekend. I think we need to share with people what's going to happen. This is going to be somewhat of an historic event on the planet, and I say that humbly when I say historic, there's not one person on social media, on YouTube or anywhere else, that is having what we're going to be doing here to help the planet. And I say help the planet, meaning help everybody. If you know my background, you know my broadcast, you know that I work in unconditional love. I work in a non egotistical frequency. My goal is to bust every matrix out there on Earth and to bring forth as much cosmic truth as possible. You know, I just think people need to be prepared. So I'm going to turn it over to April to begin with. Then we'll interact with Kit Kat and Johnny, and you guys feel free to to share. So I'll turn over anything new. I know that our parents must be excited for Saturday already. I'm pretty certain they are, as much as we are on Earth. Anything you'd like to share, April, at the tonight that is something we have not any knowledge of?
I'm not really ready to talk about anything just yet. I'm still,
Okay.
because everything's really fresh because it just happened like at about 4 o'clock this morning.
I kind of
Um,
figured, yeah.
I kind of need some time to process everything.
Take your time, yeah. Take
Yeah,
your
because
time.
it was a visit with my family.
Oh, good. Good. I'm glad to see that, Well,
Yeah.
and we'll get once you process that information, we'll be able to talk about those things. Kit Kat, um, have you been feeling out there where you are?
Um, I have been I'm feeling good. Everything's good. I'm having, I've noticed the ascension symptoms picked up a lot. You
Hmm.
know,
Yeah,
some crazy dreams, some lots of ringing in the ears.
Hmm.
Some feelings, and there are some things happening here. I definitely.
Yeah.
In the beginning, I thought I noticed movement, like motion, like things that
Hmm.
I could see ripples in the air.
Hmm.
that's your guards probably moving them in
Yeah, I
your
could see that, and
yeah,
when it first started, but now I don't see them anymore. So they're
they're
getting
there.
back to hiding.
Yeah,
I don't
their
know.
stealthiness is amazing. It
Yeah,
really is.
I
Yeah.
have felt like cool breezes. I
Yep,
get that.
Yeah,
that's them.
Yeah, I felt that.
I'm getting a lot of the same symptoms you are, Kit Kat, with the
Yeah.
ringing in the ears, headaches, a lot of download symptoms from what I've been.
Have you felt anything like in your hands and feet?
Oh,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
one
I've been
night.
having some crazy cosmic dreams too, which
Hmm.
started when I first found Commander Show, but things have just gone. I don't know. It seems like every
Yeah.
night almost. Yeah.
You want to hear the weird thing about me is that I haven't had any dreams. I haven't had any
Wow.
dreams.
You're getting the real.
None.
You're getting the
Well,
real.
you don't need to have dreams, April. You
I
don't need
know,
to
but
have
it's just weird. Like I
dreams.
haven't had any dreams since this whole thing has started. Like there's been no dreams. I'm like, I don't none that at least I'm
you, you, you know
remembering.
you know what the old saying goes, you're living the dream.
You live in a dream. That's right.
You're living the dream, April.
Hey, Commander, I wanted to ask you something if I
Yeah.
could. What can
Yeah.
I do since I'm not going to be there in person besides watching on the live? I mean, I thought about meditation, but then I thought if I meditate, I won't be able to see the live. So, what can I
Well,
do
yeah,
to connect more when you guys
I
are doing
think
stuff?
I can have
just
you on the other phone.
Okay, that'll work.
yeah.
Yeah, because I
Well,
got
that's
two
a good
phones.
idea. Yeah.
I would like that.
So she'll have you on the other phone. Then you'll be with us.
Okay, good.
Good idea.
I
You'll
appreciate
be with
that,
us.
April.
You'll be with us. I'll put you on speaker. I'll drag you around with me in my pocket if
Yeah,
I got
that.
to.
There you go. I didn't
She's
even
gonna
think of
drag you
that.
around in her pocket.
He's my
Uh,
sidekick anyway.
There you
you're
go.
you're the sidekick. There you go. That's amazing. I'm sure our parents are laughing right now hearing that. But and so the beautiful thing is that I always know when April's going to go on the ships or something's going to happen like that. I don't know how that is, but every time I'll say, "Oh, in a couple of days you're going back on the ship,"
I know.
and
I feel like you
isn't that
jinxed me.
I'm not real, yeah, right. But it does, seriously, she does go on the ship, and it's just whatever my abilities are, I can read into that energy and say, "Oh, you're supposed to go on the ship in a few days," and but it's beautiful to just be able to know that she's going on the ship, coming back with more information. Then she has to process everything that just happened,
Yeah, it's like
and
I
that
can tell you a little bit, but it's like it was a lot, you know. But
yeah,
we went back down into the we went back down, not into the ice caves, but we went down back into one of the ocean space bases.
okay,
I mean, there was a whole lot of like like to get there and stuff, the portals, the jumping and all that stuff that we did to get there. But I mean, that's where this journey went this time. We went back into
yeah,
the ocean waters because there's like more stuff happening with pollution than we were aware of.
yeah.
So yeah, I mean, just it's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot, and that's good enough. I mean, thank you for the hat. We appreciate that for sure. And I know there's a lot to process, so that little bit is fine for now because this is very fresh for you.
Yeah.
And when you process it, then we'll share it because it'll make more sense to everybody once you're able to do that.
Yeah, I mean
Thank you for the hat.
they took me to meet with this like whole with like all the committee of or the count I'm not I keep calling them committee council
The
of like
council's of
the all the water all the oceans space
oh,
people
thank
and
you.
beings that were down there. They like all met together,
Wow.
um like this whole committee, and they were all lined up in these chairs. It was they were quite different looking for I gotta say. And I also like, did you know that
Oh, thank you,
the
Shelley.
dolphins used to actually be half humanoid with when they
Yeah,
first
I
came
did.
here, and then
Yeah,
they adjusted to our earth waters by like they transformed into these like the fishes that they are now, the fish types
yeah,
that they are right now. I
yeah.
thought that was really cool. And the same thing with the octopi when they brought the octopi down here, the giant octopuses, those guys were also partially humanoid, like they were able
Really?
to walk on land and not just completely be in the ocean like they are now.
Wow, I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
That's new for me. I think new for everybody watching the show. I never even knew that.
Did they
That's
say why
wild.
they changed like to being just in the water?
Yes. They adapted to our waters.
Wow.
Because they've been here some of them were here before we were here.
Did they
That
feel
So
makes sense.
safer in the water? I'm thinking that they felt safer in the water.
yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's well, there's more water on this earth than there is land, so that's why they adapted to the water.
Yeah.
But there's just been like the pollution and stuff is like that's been like a huge thing for them. And then they talked a little bit more about the whole moon thing, and um and it's a lot. It's a lot, guys.
Yeah, yeah. No, it is. That's a beautiful thing. I know there's so much to be processed from what you just at 4 in the morning being, going on the ship into the ocean. You'll process it all. I mean, and I know it's like all this stuff happening. So there's so much for us to prepare for, and even for what we're doing Saturday. It's really, I think, the more I've been meditating all the time, it's really a preparation for us to be prepared, to be ready for the time when there'll be the contact of us going on the ships, and also for the humanity, for the Earth, for people on the planet to get ready for contact within the next year and a half as more things occur off planet. Many of the galactic forces are physically cloaked and have ships here now. There's many more ships coming in. I know April
Yes.
knows that because she sees them
Yeah.
all the time. And I've come to the conclusion one of the main openings for the light ships, for the ships of the light, are exactly where your location is on the Earth.
Yeah,
It's like
this is
yeah,
true. This is
yeah,
true. I don't know why it's down this direction. And I feel like I don't know. I feel like because these are some of these like the smaller space station that's in my mountain. I feel like it's a newer space station. It's not one of the ones that have been here for like hundreds of years. This is a newer one,
yeah,
but
yeah,
they're finding it easier to get through. Like the ones that have to travel interdimensionally, it's easier
yeah.
for them to get through and up in this location. And I'm not exactly sure why that is.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. Well, actually, I'm
Cold.
not sure why, but it's just the frequency of energy in Vermont. When I used to live there, there is, believe it or not, the energy is very pure. On the planet where you are, it's like a
Yeah.
clear energy,
Hmm.
and I think that is probably the reason. I don't know of a better word than clear energy to as being the word that I perceive as using, but I would say clear energy is what it is, and they're able to come through. You're in operate your frequency on that part of the whole area is at a different level of vibration, which is at the level of vibration where they can bring the ships right in. They don't even have to think about it, you know. And
Yeah, they.
everything is synchronicity. So when April had her contact, when we all met each other on TikTok, none of us knew each other. Like
No.
just like I didn't know half the people out here that I know now, we didn't even know each other. I came from Facebook. I knew nothing about an April or Friends with Furries or Kit Kat or Johnny or anybody else. I was like totally oblivious to anything except the word TikTok was here. And I just started doing some live broadcasts and started figuring out things. And everything happens for a reason. And the Ashtar Command are the people that brought us together. They brought us all together on this platform, on this social media, and I have much more understanding now than I did before I met April and before I met so many other people on here that I've talked to. But
Absolutely.
I really thank you, Henry Reynolds. I really have an understanding how important this is, and Saturday night is extremely important because we don't know what's going to happen. You know, all we know is that I understand very clearly that we're going to see something or something, and of course, when I get confirmation of 7 spaceships, I don't know if that's going to be way up in the atmosphere next to the moon or next to Venus or like low in the atmosphere. I keep getting, we're just going to be surprised. So we have to keep it honest because we don't know. None of us know what's going to happen.
Right.
And that's the only truth that we do know, right?
Yeah. I mean, we don't know when it's going to happen. Like they haven't they've been like really giving me a lot of information as far as like, why the mission is important and, like what our specific roles are, things like that, but not
Right. That's right.
not like when because I think that they don't even have what I'm kind of getting the sense is that they don't even have an exact date. They just know it's happening soon,
Right.
because there's been like um barriers for some of these beings to get here. There's been like
Yeah.
trip ups for some of them. So,
Yeah.
they're just waiting for them all to be here to
And
represent.
it, and what April's talking about is not Saturday night. She's talking about the major event, the bigger event down the road, year and a half from now, roughly, when all the forces of light come together. In terms of Saturday night, we know that is a given, but we don't know what that's going to be like on Saturday. We have no idea, but we know that it's going to be a beautiful thing. We know that we're going to be doing an Ashtar Command meditation. And we also know that one of the things we're going to be doing is as we come together, we're going to hug each other. And also at the ending of our a night, we're going to hug each other. So everyone's going to be hugging each other cosmically, spiritually, in a loving way. We're going to just have a sort of a hug, galactic hugging of people. And, and that's something that the commander has initiated because that's what the commander is going to do is hug every single person.
A cosmic
I
hug.
He lies. He's going to come up to me first. He goes, "Where's my gift? Where's my gift?"
yeah, yeah. I'm gonna come up to April
He
and
is
say,
too, looking because he
I'm,
knows.
I'm gonna come up to April and say, "Where's my
Give me the gift, and
tahar?
then I'll give you hugs.
I need the tahar first before I hug you. Tahar." And if anybody does not know me, I tend to have a very strong sense of humor. Enigmas, thank you for the roses. These friends of Furries, you got that.
Well, thank you for the
Yeah,
roses.
you got the roses. Thank you for the roses. No, I'm just kidding. I should have known better. Yes, but as you know, you can see it here. I have a very good sense of humor, and I think it's important. Enigma, thank you for the roses. Now I'm speaking appropriately about the roses. So it's really important that people understand we're coming with joy in our heart. We're so excited. All of us have love in our heart. The trueness is that
Thank
every
you.
one of us are coming because we have that excitement and love in our heart. And I think that's a beautiful thing, you know?
I'm excited to go. I can't wait to get down there. So, I mean, I've already been
And
ripping apart my house trying to find everything, trying to
oh my
find
gosh, yeah.
flashlights and
And the thing is, and this is
thank
the
you.
beautiful, go ahead, Kit Kat.
No, I was just saying. She just reminded me. You got to bring a flashlight.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. What's really beautiful is that that we're all going to be getting to see each other. Some people I already know that I've known since I've met on TikTok from C5 groups. Some really beautiful
Yeah.
people, and when we come together, it makes a big difference than on being on a camera here on TikTok, because you have that human interaction. You can actually see that person and actually have a relationship, and I think that relationships are really important thing now with all of us to build our relationships. And I'm one of those people that, like I said, my mission is to not only have the cover up ended, and the way to do that is by what we're doing now, is that we are the ones that are disclosure. I've always said this from the day one I got on TikTok, when I knew nobody, is that we are disclosure. All of you out there are collectively disclosure. If you videotape spaceships, or you have interactions, which I've heard, stories like the other night with Half Pint, with the woman that we had on last night who went to Catalina Island. Her story was amazing, and I think she was saved by light beings, like from this guy who was in the military, who wouldn't tell her what was going on, but he took her to Catalina Island. And if you watch that, you can watch that story on my YouTube channel. It's fascinating, all the different things people are having happen to them out there. So many of you, be it doing a C5, or whether you're having, even if you didn't know what a C5 was, you're having encounters with space people. Things are just naturally happening all over the world. People are having individual experiences. People are having maybe group experiences. That's only going to increase tenfold on our planet, right? More of that's going to occur. So it's really important that people understand the dynamics of what that contact is.
Have you
And
noticed the increase, Commander, in the people that are having sightings now? I mean, and having interactions with beings? I mean, there's like a huge, huge increase recently of people having interactions, or,
yeah.
having some type of encounter.
Oh yeah, I think it's the people that'll make comments here. They might not have enough people to come on here. They'll say, "Oh, Commander, I just had a visitation with some star being or something." I'm seeing that just on our own show here with comments. People are having direct contact with space people, just like you're mentioning. And I think it's happening all over the world, even with people that don't even have a social media platform, or don't use a computer or a phone. There are people that we don't even know out there in Europe or Middle East or somewhere. Could be Eastern Europe, in a small village, having contact with space people. It's just really happening. It's happening all over the world.
It really is. I've had recent messages from a lot of people. Just there. I mean, people from all over the world have been messaging me. Talking about them having recent encounters with not just fairies and stuff, but they're talking about their UFO experiences as well. I'm getting hundreds of messages every day. They're just like pouring in now. It's crazy. There's a lot of people having experiences.
Yeah, and I believe it too. I believe there's a lot, and even in our region in New England, well, in New England, there's a lot of people that I probably don't even know, that either on or off social media, that are having experiences. And it's
Hmm.
just right in our backyard, these things that are happening, right? And, when I think about this special event Saturday, that will be probably as important an experience as any experience that other people are having. So we never discount anybody's experiences, because there are people that are telling us stories that are incredible stories of experiences. And we're just seeing a little percentage on the show of what's going on around the planet. And we don't even know half of the stories that are going on right now,
Right.
or we don't even know half of the people that are having experiences with space people right now. We don't.
Right.
None of us do.
I
really.
wonder about the other groups, I really do. I wonder if there's anybody that has like found our show or that has found your show that has been part of the like the five for that region, or for that part of the
Yeah,
grid, and
I
I'm
wonder.
wondering if they have found their people, it's kind of amazing that we found each other and we know we found another one that's part of a group, but he hasn't
Yeah,
found his people yet. I'm
yeah.
wondering how many more groups are becoming aware.
I think down the road, those people will come forward eventually, whoever they are. We don't know who they are. I mean, obviously, we have no idea who they are, but we will eventually know who they are at some point in our travels. I
Mhm.
think the beautiful thing about my program here is that it's transformed into not just a talk show with people being interviewed about their experiences. It's also become a hub for us to really be a center point for direct contact with our star family. I really truly understand that now. That what I thought was just going to be this talk show is still very much a talk show, but it's more than just a talk show. It's because of before I came on the internet, I was working with the Ashtar Command since I was old enough to know what it is, and I'm always the mission to me comes first. My talk show is here, but my mission when I go into my galactic consciousness, my mission and understanding of why I really came here to Earth, just like everybody else out there who's a starseed, you know why you're here. Many of you know why you're here, or you're just waking up to knowing why you're here, right?
Right.
So when you know why you're here, it makes it more clearer in sense of the clearness of it is that you know why you're coming here. You know why what you're doing, what you're doing. You know why you are trying to save a tree, or you're trying to save the ocean, or you're trying to do something, which is your mission. Everyone has a mission here. Every single person, every single experience is a wake up call. You know, when you have interactions with your space brothers and sisters, it's a wake up call. It's a wake up call for people to be that person, to be more than just the human mind. Because the human mind, as I stated before, doesn't want you to complete a mission. It wants to keep questioning your mission. It wants to keep questioning why you're doing something different. So you want to do something different because you don't want to listen to your mind, which can mess you up royally. It really can. The human mind is the one thing that can mess people up here on this planet. I've noticed. It kind of like says, "Oh, you can't do that. You shouldn't be doing that." Why? Because you tell me to, mind. As I always say, mind your own business. You know what I mean? Mind your own business means telling the mind to mind its own business.
Hey, Commander, I'm gonna be right back. I'm having a nasty thunderstorm here, so I'm gonna step down
Oh,
for a
you
minute.
are okay.
Yeah, it's getting
And
pretty
I
bad.
heard it. Yeah, yeah. We're going to be getting that here in New England pretty soon. So when the thunder and lightning happens, we will still be here broadcasting
I'm gonna come back
if
on.
we
I'm
need
just
to.
gonna drop down for a minute. I'll be back though.
No problem. All
Okay.
right, go ahead, do your thing. I know there's a big storm coming, and we're going to be getting it. I love thunder and lightning as long as it doesn't come in the house. The
Yeah.
lightning, I mean, doesn't come in. I can take the thunder. Lightning won't come in here, man. I'm just going to be sitting here, and whatever happens, happens.
Yeah, I think it's headed your guys' way. It's been passing through here all day.
Yeah, it's going to be an electrifying show tonight at some point. So it'd be
We didn't get the
just
thunder, just a lot of rain.
yeah. We're gonna get the thunder. I like the thunder. I can look at the lightning as long as it's not like it's in the distance and not bolting over here. I just something refreshing about the energy in the atmosphere when the lightning and thunder happens. It sort of clears out the atmosphere. So after the storm passes, do you ever feel like really fresh and you feel really wow? I'm amplified all this energy from the storm.
I always
I
feel
mean, I
super
do.
good after the rain. I just don't like the
Yeah,
thunderstorms because of that whole car thing with my first experience with my big
yeah.
family. I can't do the thunder, but the whole
Yeah,
rain thing I absolutely love. It. Everything
yeah,
smells fresh and brand new.
it does. It really does. I think anyone will attest to that. Yeah, the water cleans the air. That's right, Willie J. It does. And Deborah says it spreads nitrogen, lightning.
Yeah, I forget if it's positive or negative ions. One of the two.
Yeah,
I think it's negative.
you know.
I'm not positive.
But it's just we the weather patterns are. I've been meditating for days about the weather. People don't realize this. I've been spending a lot of time meditating. Honey says we had some gorgeous light shows across Texas last night. Oh, beautiful, Honey. Well, Texas is like a lot of, well, there are mountains there, they're flatland, but I can see the lightning in Texas would be pretty phenomenal.
Yeah.
Delian says Kirbyville, Texas had so much rain, a casket floated out. Oh, man, that's crazy.
Oh, that's awful.
As long as there was nobody in it, you know. Willie J says it's negative. I'm not positive. I'm gonna be the name of my new song. Willie J's writing a song called "It's Negative. I'm not positive. It's gonna be the name of my new song." So you're a singer-songwriter, Willie J. Very good. You know, so as we are like kind of sharing things here, discussing things here, it was in a graveyard. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
That's awful.
Well, hopefully, wherever it goes, may they rest in peace. You know, once it settles down, wherever it's going to settle. But you know, when we think about the whole nature of where we're going as a society, it's just a beautiful thing. You know, if you just turn everything off, like no TV, nothing, and just are right here, be here now, like Ram Dass said. When you think of, you know, what Ram Dass said to us is that we need to be present now in the present moment. We need to be here now. I love his book. As a matter of fact, I think it's been reprinted, and I have a copy of the original book. Hi, Commander and family, and April, blessings. Jay,
Hello.
blessings to you. Blessings to you. So, you know, there's so much that we have to be, you know, thankful for, that we're all alive right now, that we're alive in 2024, and we're coming close to something very majorly important that's going to affect all of our lives, everybody's lives. You know, everyone out here is going to be affected at some point, like a little wave coming in. We're all going to be electrically affected, not electronically, but electrically affected, which is different in so many beautiful ways. Hey, Gary, good to see you up in Iowa. We're just going to have that moment of experience that's going to come, and we're going to say, oh, what happened here, right? And as I ponder my thoughts here talking, I'm not just like rambling on. There's all these thoughts coming to me as we get close, because I'm so excited for everybody. I'm excited for all the viewers around the world who are going to be able to experience this from watching it. I'm excited for the five of us. I'm excited for the whole Ashtar Command contact group that's going to be physically in the field with us together. It's going to be an experience for us physically, all of us together, you know, and to get 4 of the 5 of us together in one place is, to me, amazing. The apple cider is good, Levick. As a matter of fact, I'm drinking apple cider right now. I'm very much going to be drinking apple cider. Maybe I'll bring little bottles of apple cider to the thing Saturday night. It's possible. And if anything, the apple orchard will have little bottles of apple cider right from the orchard. So maybe early in the day we can pick some up. You know, they have a market that's right in the lower part of the field, not the field, but lower part of the hill area. They have a thing called, they have a marketplace where they sell apple pies and all kinds of, you know, cider donuts and everything.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So there's going to be a lot of stuff happening. Tiffany says, I love apple cider, you know.
Good.
So, you know, we talk about our dreams. For me,
Sorry, that was me. Sorry.
Okay, I haven't had many dreams lately. I've been just really in the now moment, just focused on what's going to happen. I think I've been being prepped every single day when I have time to be by myself. I'm just meditating, focusing on inner reflection. And that, for me, that's been my thing. Like each person here is, you know, explain what their thing has been since we're getting up to Saturday. For me, it's been inner reflection, inner understanding, inner meditation, to kind of understand where we're going, what's going to happen. I know those that are coming, they should be physically having chairs or a blanket or something. I'm not sure if the ground's going to be moist from all the rain we've had Thursday and Friday, but I know it's drying out into Saturday. So people that are coming, they should message me or they should message me on TikTok. If they have trouble figuring out how to get to where we are, you need to get in touch with me now before Saturday so that you can have directions, and I'll be happy to give you those directions to get to the apple orchard field. Mylette, good to see you. So if anybody has any questions for us, please do ask. Now is a good time to ask on the show, and we'd be happy to entertain any questions you have. For Kit Kat, for April, for myself. The Woodis, good to see you, the Woodis. Good to see you. I wish you could come too. Oh, you've driven 2,000 miles across. Well, you'll be with us in spirit, Marie. You'll be with us in spirit. So no worries. You'll be able to watch it right on the camera. You'll be with us in spirit.
Sharon, if you're asking if we'll be able to take the recordings with us on the ship, it's our technology isn't possible on their ships.
Yeah, people have asked us that we can't do that. It's not that they don't want us to do it. It's the Earth-based equipment cannot function on the spaceships. There's a different frequency vibration. It just wouldn't work. Outside the ship, we can record, but inside the ship, our phones won't work. They're not going to be able to work.
Yeah, and we won't know. So it's like, it's not like you have time to grab a phone. When they come, they come. That's it. You just go. You don't really have time to be grabbing phones and stuff unless you actually have them on you at the moment. And then when you go on the ship, your phones and everything are taken. So
Jay McNeary says no before, of course. Yeah. So before, when down the road, when we do go on the ships, it won't be Saturday night unless something very surprisingly happens that I'm not even aware of, that none of us are aware of. Down the road in the next 6 months, roughly, when we do get to go, it's going to be like, if it happens, there's no way we can record anything unless like we're in a field somewhere or somewhere going somewhere where they're just like, we're not like, what's the word I'm looking for? There's just no way we're going to know. I mean, we're just going to be, once they want to, if they come into my house and they want to take me on the ship, there's no way I can record what's going on in the ship because I'm in my house and it won't work because I'll be going into the ship. And similar to the way April talked about how they opened a door and in the woods and she was on the ship. And it's going to be a very different situation, but we can record if we're in a situation where we know that we're going to be able to record outside of the ship. And they say, okay, we want you to record the ship from the outside, but there's no way you'll be able to do it because of the technology and the vibrational frequencies. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's really weird. Like they've taken me several different ways, and I don't mean taken like they took me against my will. I meant I went with them willingly.
Right.
But they've come through my bathroom wall. They have come in through my bedroom wall. They have brought me up by a beam. They physically walked me onto the ship, and then I also went through a rift in my kitchen.
Yeah, see?
There's several, any one of those ways is the way and you never know when they're going to come. They'll just come, and it's going to be before a big contact. That's all I know. We're talking within the next year and a half. So sometime within then they'll be taking us for our training.
So April, when they come in your house and you're leaving, do they take you through the door or do you go through a wall?
I just walk through the wall with them.
Oh. Cool.
It's weird. It's weird because it's like the wall is like not there, but you just like walk through it. But you can see like as you're walking through it, you see like almost like a flash, and then you see like it's almost like molecules are like pixelated as you're walking through it, and it's only for a second though.
Yeah,
I was too scared to move my head around. Quite honest.
Yeah, and Arod is saying, how can I remember a dream I had with a contact I had years ago? I think I would suggest, and I'll let all three of us answer that question. I would say learn how to focus on meditation, like do a 30-minute meditation, Arod. Try to focus on that a little bit. Focused within the Christ consciousness, which is the first thing I always tell people. In Cosmic Christ Consciousness, do a meditation centered on Christ consciousness, and say that I wish to remember my contact I had years ago with whoever you had contact with, and I have no idea who that is, but whatever that is or whoever it is, if it was a positive contact, then yes, learn how to meditate, use higher frequency music, which is really good to use, like not like blasting, but low, and then just focus, clear your mind, clear your consciousness, and I would go just say about 30 minutes a day on your meditation until you can remember physically or visually who you were in contact with, who they were. I hope that helps answer your question. Hey, you want to take a spin at that, April and Kit Kat?
I would have said the same thing, exactly what you said, meditation, and ask your inner self to, to help you remember that. And, or, the other thing would be hypnosis, you know.
Good idea.
Yeah, hypnosis too, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. But I don't have any other suggestions.
Well, there you go. There you go. So that was a good question. And again, if anybody in the audience, I am watching the screen. If you have a question for any of the three of us, please do ask. Yes, I am screened. I am screened morning. Somebody called me. His 3 police stations. He's close. He says, I am confused. I don't quite understand that. Okay. I don't understand that, but that's all right. But if any questions out there relating to what's going to happen? Oh, you called 911. So you had an earth-based situation occur. Somebody screaming. Do your dogs or animals bark or meow when the store people come? That's a great question, Lisa.
Mine have not. Mine actually, with my first and second contact with the space beings, my dogs just ran right past them. They didn't even bother with them. Well, actually, that's not true. One of my dogs stopped and sniffed by him, but then because they had to go to the bathroom, so they weren't paying him any mind.
It is kind of funny. Like, you might be from space, but I don't care about you. I'm going to the bathroom.
That's right.
I'm a dog.
That's like
I'm a dog.
a herd of animals running out of my house, so they all just chase after each other, and they weren't paying him not a bit of mind. But no, they don't bark. But that being said, sometimes when the ships are near, I do hear howling, and there's timber wolves and things like that up here, and I hear them in the woods howling as well. And I also hear the Bigfoots howl too, though.
Oh yeah, the Bigfoots do that. And Honey McReynolds is saying, great suggestion, Honey McReynolds. Keep a journal by your bed to record as soon as you wake up. Very, very well said, Honey McReynolds. You should definitely do that. Let's see here. Lisa says my dog detects. My cats love them, Jay says. Okay, let's see. Lisa says, because my cat meows loudly at my shower stall, which is empty. Strange. Karen says, make you wonder how much they see all of the time. Frequency is everything. The neighborhood dogs are all barking when they have their contact.
Yeah, my neighbors, like the neighbor dogs are dogs in the distance will bark. My dogs don't mind them at all. But then again, my dogs are very used to having the fairies and all that around. My dogs have got the fairies trained to itch their backs for them.
Hey, Yaya Spirit, good to see you. I think Yaya Spirit's going to sleep. Hope you have a good night, Yaya. Let's see here. So funny, dogs was barking one day. I was ready to go to sleep. So how do you communicate with, okay, Jessica says, how do you communicate with them on a daily basis? That's a good question. I mean, I'm going to let you answer it because you're, physically been going on the ships. Do you want to share with her how that actually is done?
I don't communicate with them on a daily basis. If I go outside and I see ships and I talk to them, they will do stuff like flare up their ship lights or things like that. But as far as like daily communications with them, I don't have daily communications. I have communications when I go with them.
Right, that's right.
They talk to me, give me information, and I hear testimonies of other beings and things like that. And they just share a lot of information with me, but I don't, other than being able to ask for, like, say somebody needs protection, if I just say it out loud and really think about it, they will send communications. They've also communicated through my cell phone. and they've spoken, but it's normally when I'm on the show, and if I'm on that phone, they will come across agreeing with things and talking through the phone.
Yeah. And Scottish Curly HSS says my dog likes, I think, barks at the corner of my room, freaked me out right out. I'm not sure why that was.
That could be
Let's
an
see here.
interdimensional. That could be like a fairy being as well.
Yeah.
Maybe in your house. Sometimes they bark at them. Cats love them.
Oh yeah.
So Tush Moorcake, she actually has. She can't. She's just not like. She doesn't just live stream the fairies. Tush, when the fairies want to appear on the screen, they have appeared on her live, on her and a number of her lives. I've been there watching it, and other people have seen the fairies do appear when they wish to, and it's up to the fairies whether they wish to appear or not in front of the camera. But I have seen it, and I know she can answer that more than I can. But I have viewed it with other people, seeing the fairies appear on her camera.
Yeah,
I saw the hand. Which one's the hand holder?
that's Arthur.
Arthur. I saw him so clearly twice. He wears this weird square hat.
Yeah.
It looks like little little cubes.
Yeah.
Like a little hat. And I noticed the hat once, and then I saw his full body and his face and the hat.
Yeah.
The whole thing. I was like amazed.
Annabelle's beautiful. She does look like a Tinkerbell fairy, but the other ones are a little different looking, but they're all really loving beings. I love these guys a lot.
Karen Pratt says, I've seen Kraft flash the lights to my music when I'm playing it in the garden. Interesting.
They love music. That's one of the ways that they show their emotions is through music for human beings. So it's pretty cool.
And we all know that when we do the Friday night thing, our parents on the ship love music, and they'll use April's other phone, and they love music. Actually, they love it when I sing. When I sing songs, they love it when we do that kind of stuff. And music is like the one thing that brings everybody together, no matter what planet you come from. The music is something that is universal throughout the universe, and it's just a beautiful energy when we can actually share music with each other. And the space people, like when she mentioned that they flashed their lights to the music, you must have some beautiful people on those ships that are actually Karen, star people from probably planets of light. So that's a beautiful thing, Karen, that you're sharing about the music and the ships responding with light. Very, very interesting. Let's see what else we got here. Lisa says, April, do they like to use your bathroom as a portal?
No, they just did that one time, but we had a whole conversation about them not using the bathroom for coming to get me anymore. So they haven't. They've respected that.
Yeah. Tush is saying something. They appeared like you can see their faces, or did they appear? I think the question is, did they appear? I'm not sure if that's to any one of us or maybe you. Did they appear so you can see their faces or a blur? I can say that if your question is, did she have physically seen them? The answer would be yes. They physically are real, physical, like I'm physical, like all of us here are physical. They would appear, they weren't blurry because they were physically right in the room. They would appear to her and be with her. And she physically, on the ship, would physically go off from her home onto the ship, and she'd be physically with her mother and father and her family on the ship. Just to use them. I think that's what the question really is. Let's see. Lisa says, I don't think portals, they can go through anything.
Yeah, they don't need to use portals. I haven't seen them use a portal. I've seen them use beams. I've seen them use rifts. And they like open up time and space, and it looks like a tear in the air of energy. And then they just physically walk through the wall. So
Tiffany says, my fairy, she looks Victorian.
yeah, yours is probably an older generational fairy. The newer generational fairies dress more like us.
Okay, so Tish is very inquisitive. Tish says, so if your parents are on the ship, why don't they have you with them more often? Um, I guess that's for you, April.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know the answers to those questions. Because I don't think that my human form is really meant to be with them all the time. My
Hmm.
my actual star being is in stasis on one of the waiting ships. But as far as like when the shift and everything does happen, they have chosen us five as well. I'm sure you've been following the story. I'm not going to go through the whole spiel, but
Right. It's a,
they've
yeah.
chosen us five, and we are star being cells have come down and to be born into the human form, while our bodies are in stasis on the ship. And that's so we can be here to learn to live the human experience and learn the lessons that humans learn and all of that. So I mean, so right now they're not trying to interrupt my human experience.
That's right. And that's not their purpose to interrupt any of our human experiences, including your human experience out there who's watching. We're supposed to be here to have that human experience.
Right.
And it says Tish has another question. I mean, on the camera, were the fairies blurry? Were they blurry orbs, or can you see their faces and detail? I can.
They
Go
can
ahead.
come across both ways. You can actually see them. Sometimes they come across blurry. Sometimes they come across as I get them in all different forms. I've gotten them where they're in their purest form when they're in the middle of shape shifting. And when they're in their purest form, they almost look gelatin-like with sparkles inside of them. But I can
Mm,
see them. I can like I don't need a device to see them. I can see them physically.
right. And she's really asked. He or she is asking a lot of questions to get educated here, and I really appreciate that. So when you well, there's no such thing as death. Nobody dies. That's an earth-based thing. Just to let you know, let me intercede on that part. There is no death. It's just that when we physically leave our physical earth form, um, we have the ability to come back in earth form to still experience earth, or we can go into our star bodies and wake up from stasis, which is our bodies are protected on a ship.
Hmm.
Many people here, many of you have star bodies on ships. Everybody out here mostly does. It's just that we're not the only ones. Many of you, it's not exclusive to us. Everybody here has what they call a body on the ship that's in stasis, that's well protected. If you decide to, after being on this Earth experience, that you want to now go back to your home planet, you will wake up into your space body and you'll have that option. So, to Tish's question, I can answer that very quickly and very clearly that we all have the ability, once we finish our mission on Earth, being in the human experience, you have an option of coming back to Earth or going back to your home planet into that other place where you were before you came to Earth. So, Tish, that would be my answer. If Kit Kat or April want to chime in on that question, please do.
I'm sorry, I didn't see what was the question.
The
So
question was really basically, she used the person used the term die, but I explained that we don't die at all. There's no death,
yeah,
but
no,
that
there
when we
isn't. When our human physical body, yeah, the commander just explained that when we leave our physical body, our human body, when that's done, I think the commander explained to you that being or our soul or whatever you want to call it, but our star seed being will go back into our our bodies that are in stasis if we so choose to do that. But if we want to come back or we don't feel like we've learned enough or we still have lessons to learn, we will be born again into another human body.
right. Lisa says, so I'm not supposed to be able to figure out how to go back through the wormhole. It's not important to, I would just don't even worry about the wormhole. Why would you want to have to figure out how to get through the wormhole? Just look at it as being, all you have to do, Lisa, is live at the now moment in this human form. When you have finished your human mission work, whatever that is, you will have the ability, as we're talking about stasis, you have the ability to go back into your star beingness of your star physical being instead of just, or coming back to Earth and being a baby again into the new Earth, which would you'd be operating at a new Earth level. As a baby, you would be a human in a new Earth. If you decide not to want to come back and you say, well, I had enough of the experience here, I want to go back home to my home planet, you will have that ability too, Lisa. So I wouldn't worry too much about wormholes. Just enjoy the experience that you have now and realize that down the road, whenever that is, you will, as we see contact occur all over the planet, you'll have contact with your star family, and so will everybody here watching the show. Let's see here. Karen Pratt says, I see the sparkles. Let's see here. And we are entertaining your questions. Okay, so once you're back in your space body lives forever. Kind of, in a sense, I'll let April handle that question. I'll give you my interpretation of that.
Your actual space body, they don't see time and space the same way we do. So their actual space bodies live for hundreds of years. So I don't know all that information. All I know is that time and space is not, they don't see time the same way that we do. And I know that the star beings live for hundreds of years.
Yeah.
And they all look like they're in their like early 20s and late 20s. I haven't seen one that looks really old.
Right, and she's actually on the ship. She's seen physically our family members, and they look to be 20 or 30 years old in Earth years. But many of the star people can live to be not only hundreds of years old, but thousands upon thousands of years old, and never look like they're have aged whatsoever. And like April's saying, when you get connected to the people on the spaceships, when you meet your star family, whenever that is for each of you, you will see that when you look at them physically, they could be 2,000 years old and they look like they're 20. I'm just being hypothetical with my answer, but the truth is, many of the contactees who are no longer with us from the 50s and 60s, when they were brought on ships, they met people that were thousands of years old that looked like they were in their 20s. Because they don't operate under time on Earth. People age because of the thing that we believe in time. Like we have a time frame, and we believe in years. So we look at like where you're now going to have a birthday, you're a year older than you were before, right? On Earth, people look at time in a very specific way. Off planet, the reason why when April talks about her parents and seeing her siblings on the ship, they look to be 20, 30 years old, and they could be hundreds of thousands, not hundreds of thousands years old, but they could be 2,000 years old or 3,000 years old or 600 years old,
Yeah, I wonder if when their life and when they find their life ends, then their bodies haven't gotten old. Like, is it like an expiration date? Like on this day you cease to exist. Like I don't get it.
I don't think there's any expiration off planet. I think that when people, and because I came here from off planet to volunteer to be on Earth, I don't think there's any expiration. I think we choose as star people when we're back in our star bodies that there's no death beyond Earth. It's just an illusionary word, the word death. I think that when we have back in our physical form, we can recycle back into our star bodies continuously. That we don't have to be limited by a construct of 3D understanding of life on Earth. And I think if we go to that perspective, each person has the ability to choose. Like when I said before, many times on here, I said one has to control the human mind in order to expand the experience. If the mind controls the human experience, the mind will limit the human experience, including the ability to realize that you can live way longer than what the mind's concept of reality is in the human form, right? So in our human mind, we only have a limited perception of reality and concepts of what, how our life lives. We've all been taught growing up, let's face it, oh, wasn't it great? Your grandfather used to be around. He died at 93 years old. On Earth, the perception of reality is that everybody dies, everything dies, right? The word death is something pretty common on Earth. That's a word used by many billions of human beings. If we are now off planet and we are with ourselves in our star physical body, the word death doesn't even exist. Why? Because there is no death. Death is an illusion. We created the illusion on Earth because we live in a limited time and space. On off planet, there's no death. There really isn't.
Yeah, what I'm wondering is that, we chose to come to Earth, and I'm just wondering if maybe when our, space bodies, when that life supposedly ends, but it's not really ending. I'm wondering if you decide you want to live somewhere else.
You can live wherever you want. Our physical, does people realize our inner body beyond the physical human body, our light body is within our body. So when we come from off planet, we take our light body or an essence of our light body in us, but we're not always aware of it. So because when we get here, we start operating with the brain. You see, humans, we get the human experience, so they have to operate with the brain. But our light body is within us. What you call the higher self, the light body, the spiritual body, whatever you want to call it, it's still the same thing. When only on Earth have we perceived and created the word death. Off planet, you'll never hear that word because when before we were here, we were in basically light beings. What is a light being? A light being has no death. There's no death. So the light being can take a physical form and manifestation of a physical form, which it does. Many people see, even the radiant light of our human brothers and sisters is because we're enveloped in light. When we come from off planet, when we're off planet, we are filled with light. We are filled with that radiant frequency of light. There's no death. I'm amazed, of course on Earth, the word exists because we've created that reality. But before we came to Earth, that reality did not exist until we came here and had the experience, right? So in truth, there is no death. It's just an illusion. April, do you want to say anything on that, or?
No, I think you said it. I think you said it right.
Thank you. And so for all those people in consciousness wondering about that, that was a good question. Let's see here, and we are taking your questions. I've seen them too, James. Time outside Earth is faster, but makes you age slower. Theory or of relativity? I don't think when you're in space, it's a matter of moving faster or slower. It's just that the reality in space is it's not so much fast or slow. It's just that age does not essentially exist in the way that Earth people understand it to exist.
Commander, I'm going to hop down now.
Okay, I'm going to let you go. I know you have to get ready for tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I'm going to let you go. Thank you for coming up here for a little bit. Rest well. Drive safely.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Good night.
Okay, take care. All right, we're going to let April go. And April's getting ready with her daughter. They're going to be traveling down to Connecticut. So we're all going to be together. You're going to see Kit Kat, April, myself, and Chesno on the same camera in the same place. Isn't that going to be a trip?
Yeah.
We're all going to be in the same place. And that's going to be phenomenal. Plus, we have other people coming. I will say that my co-coordinator, my friends Greg and Elaine, they're in Connecticut. They're from Connecticut too. They will be with us, and they live in Middlefield, Connecticut, where we're going to be, together for this event. So it's going to be a beautiful thing. I'm so relaxed right now as we get into Friday, and we will definitely answer your questions. Bobby Rocks, you have opt-outs of sorts. Hey, Bobby. Hey, brother. Can you explain what you mean by the opt-outs of sorts? I should see here. I took over Bobby's old avatar. Oh. Cliff says it's like Jesus said, you love for eternity in heaven. Oh, Cliff, Papa Smurf, empath. Let's see here. I'm just reading comments. Other things in space die. Why wouldn't star beings? That's a perception of human mind. There's really no death in space because when you're dealing with things dying, that's a human perception of existence. When you are in your light form, when you're in your non-brain level 3D brain, you'll understand that there is no death. Planets might, cease to have life on some of them in terms of the way you understand it. But in truth, star beings don't really die. On Earth, we've created the whole thing of death, and therefore it exists only because we've created it. If you have a lot of people on Earth, billions of people believing in death, you've created that experience. If you're off planet and in a different vibrational pattern where there is no such thing as the word death, it doesn't exist. But the ability to go from whatever period, if you live 1,000 years or 2,000 years old, and then after your 2,000 years, you are now not in that same form, and you say, I want to come back and have more of a space experience in my life, you will come back. Some people you call it reincarnation, from different cultures, but in space, there really is no death. Black Master Tree. Anyone is interested in really? Okay. Nothing dies, only appears to. Absolutely true. SM Lake, you got it. A star does not die. Yes, nothing really dies. Although on Earth, we've created the word death, so therefore, the reality we created is that word. It is called a soul. On Earth we call it the soul, the light body. The soul never dies, in truth, and that's why death is an illusion. Let's see here exactly. SML Lake, yes. And to Tiffany says, I saw a young furry. She's a little girl. The Dawn says, I was told today I look 23. I'm 44 Earth years old. Lilac 911, good night. Let's see, I'm just reading comments here. I'm going through the comments. Karen Pratt, can't wait. Yes, can't wait. Exciting, can't wait. I'm reading people's on 51, but hi. Okay, let's see here. I'm catching up to comments here. Commander, do you have a human family, kids? I have one human daughter. I have a mother and father on Earth that they're no longer here. I have an Earth-based brother who's totally different than I am. I mean, in every single way you can think of. So I do have a brother here. He probably doesn't have any idea who I am in terms of what I do. So I do have a human family. And I'm gonna bring up James, and also as we're answering your question. Hey, James. Good evening. James, you there?
Hello, Commander. Greetings and salutations to everybody.
Yeah. Greetings. And how are you doing tonight?
I am blessed, highly favored, and wonderful.
Oh, good. We've been answering a lot of questions. In general, for a lot of people with a lot of questions, and leading up to Saturday night. So we're really getting prepared for a really beautiful gathering, April, and everyone that's going to be there.
Good.
And we're just really excited. We're going to get definitely a group shot of everybody. I mean, the whole group that's going to be there that night. So it's going to be just a beautiful night.
Hi, Kit Kat.
Hello. How you doing?
Hey.
So a lot of good questions tonight regarding stuff people want to know. And again, on the whole thing of death, and I've dealt with this for years before in my spiritual work, in my workshops. Um, death is, like I said, an earth-based creation. There's so many people on earth. The brain creates the function of life in our body, but really death is really so much of an illusion. People think, what's going to happen when I die? But there is no death, because when you leave your physical body, if you study what has happened to the inner body, which is the soul or the light body, it leaves the physical human spacesuit, so to speak, and goes back to its original place. In this case, in many cases, in our particular realm of understanding, we go back to our star bodies. So our soul or your light frequency goes back into your real body, which is your space body, which is human and probably taller. If you're a man or a woman, it's taller than your physical human body. So we've had a few questions about that tonight, and there really is no
Wow.
such thing as death. People have to understand death is an earth-based human concept that has been created because we live on a limited time scale, time framework on the planet Earth. We live in time where our star people don't live in time. It's a very different thing. Oh, who's coming on here? Hey, Alan, how you doing? How'd that happen?
I have no clue.
I'll tell you, Alan, on my show,
What the heck?
What's that?
I
Interesting.
things on our show, things happen that you wouldn't believe, and it's always very spontaneous. I didn't
Is
even
you
press any button.
Alan or Alien?
Story.
His name is Alan.
No, I'm joking.
And who?
Alan,
You
how
didn't
you doing,
invite me
buddy?
up or what?
No, I didn't do that. You just came up out of nowhere.
Yeah. Do you have a story?
Must have
Yeah,
been one of
no,
the mods or something, huh?
no, it
Do you
wasn't.
have a UFO encounter story?
No, I know Alan. He comes from a deep faith, and I completely honor him for that. But I didn't bring him up. It just happened, Unless our space brothers brought him up, I had
Maybe he's
nothing to
got a
do with it.
message.
You know.
Here he has.
No, I was just listening. No message.
No problem, Alan. Oh, but just we love you, brother. This happens once in a while that people are brought up on the show, and I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, oh, okay, maybe it's one of our Ashtar Command space people. They're saying, bring Alan up here. We're gonna have a little fun with the commander tonight. But you're loved, brother, and your face has that love frequency in it when your little profile face. So I just want you to know you are loved.
Mhm.
All right. Well,
All
thanks for bringing me up.
right, man. We'll
Everybody
have a good
follow
one.
Alan.
Alan's, these things do happen. I swear my hands were never touching anything here. It happens. Mods cannot bring anybody up anyway. So, but anyway, yeah. Now you
Hey,
know Alan, who
Commander,
Alan is. Yeah.
I had an experience today again, and this time, this one makes me question everything even worse. So I got
Well,
to
that's
share it
good.
with you. This
What
morning,
happened?
this morning, I'm standing outside and it's storming. It's rainy. Full cloud coverage, and I'm looking towards the sky, and I see just a flash of a rainbow, right? And in my mind, I was trying to um, rationalize everything. Like, oh, it was a car driving by. It was maybe just the way the rain was moving, and there was, I was trying to rationalize what it was in my head because it was just a
Right.
quick flash of a
Right.
rainbow. So fast forward 7 hours later, I'm driving home and I'm at a stoplight. Now the skies are clear. There's not a cloud in the sky. The sun is shining. Um, the sun is to my west, and I am pointed south.
Mm-hmm.
So the sun is in front of me, and I'm at a stoplight, and all of a sudden I see a rainbow flash in front of me. And
Really?
I look at the guy in the car next to me, and I roll my window down, and I said, "Did you see that?" And he said, "Yeah, man, I saw it. I thought I was going crazy." I said, I've never seen a rainbow just flash like that with no um
Yeah.
with no clouds, no rain.
Right.
And I grew up in Hawaii. There's rainbows every day. You don't see one just show and then disappear. It doesn't really
Right.
happen like that quick.
Right.
So
So
now
when
I'm
it
like, so now I'm like, okay, I saw it. This guy saw it.
right, confirmation.
I'm like, is this a glitch in the matrix? So I call my sister. Now she's a flight attendant.
Right.
So I didn't tell her what happened at all. I just said, "Hey, how you doing? How did you get to see the eclipse from a plane?" We were just talking, and I said, "Have you
Hmm.
seen anything strange since the eclipse?"
Right.
And she said, "James, you're never gonna believe this. I was flying from Richmond, Virginia to Birmingham, Alabama,
Yeah.
and she said I saw a big triangle type craft in the sky that was shining. She said it looked like a diamond shining in the sky. And she
Wow.
said she said it looked like the corner of like a chrome skyscraper,
Huh.
just sitting in the sky, not moving at all. And she said, James, she's like, I don't know how to explain what it looked like. She said it looked like it was refracting light like through a prism or like a
Hmm.
crystal. And I said,
Wow.
do you mean like a rainbow? And she said, yeah, yeah. I said, Michelle, you're never gonna believe this. And then I told her the story about the rainbow, and she
Yeah.
was like, and she said, what if what I saw 35,000 feet, in the air is refracting, shines of rainbows across the dang country?
Yeah.
So I
Isn't
don't know
that
what the
interesting?
heck is going on.
Yeah. So I'm getting information, as you know, and Kit Kat, if you want to chime in, please do. So when you mention the word rainbow, refraction of light, I would say that if that was sitting in up and what's that? How high up were they on the jet? 30,000, forty
Yeah,
thousand
35,000. She said she was at full altitude.
full altitude. Well, that's exactly where, in this case, that's where the ship was. It was not moving anywhere. It was refracting light back onto Earth. Now, it could be that it was reflecting light in certain specific areas. I think certain people were supposed to see the reflection if it's coming from that ship, hypothetically, or even if the experience is separate. The rainbow experience, which I'm very familiar with,
Wait,
is
it
at,
was Commander. It was around the same time.
when you were
When
seeing this.
so when I told her it happened, she said she was in midair.
Really?
Same day. This
So,
all happened today. This happened today. I just
so
talked
then,
to her when she got to Birmingham.
mhm. So this is what I am getting, that the refraction of light, I'm getting this, that the sun reflected off of the ship, and somehow the ship actually purposely reflected a rainbow of light. In this case, where you were at the same time she told her story, it all happened simultaneously at the same time. Correct?
She said, James, we were supposed to see that at the same time. She said there was a
That's what,
reason for that. She said my
well.
sister said that.
That's what I'm saying. It all happened at the same time. Correct?
Yeah, I mean,
That's
my
what I mean.
her time frame, I mean, give or take a half hour, I said mine was around 10 o'clock this morning, and she's like, well, my flight took off at,
Hmm.
9:30, and Birmingham, Richmond to Birmingham isn't that far of a flight.
Right. But the interesting part of your story is that it all happened exactly at the same time. You're at the light. The other guy, you rolled down your window. He says, "Did you see that?" You said, "Did you see that?" She says that at the time you asked her about what's going on, she explained to you all that happened simultaneously at the same time. Correct?
Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm saying. So here's my answer. And I rapidly read into this. So that was not a Earth-based ship. You said the word diamond-like. The way you described it, a diamond-like, the refraction of light. I'm getting it was a starship of some sort. It was stationary on purpose, and I'm also getting, and my eyes are closed right now. That's the only way I can read information. Is that you were meant to see it, and evidently that other person was meant to see it too. That was in the other car, the other vehicle next to you. When you said to them, "Did you see this?" However you said
Well,
it to
that,
them.
because at first, the first one, it was just weird. And then when I saw it the second time, my immediate thought was, I'm seeing stuff. Like I was scared. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm having some type, or something's wrong with my eyes. I
Mhm.
thought, oh my gosh, something's wrong with my eyes. I
Right,
shouldn't have looked
right.
at the dang eclipse.
Yeah, that's your mind speaking, but on the
Right,
spiritual level,
right.
your spirit level knows exactly what you're saying.
Oh, and yeah, me and my sister are definitely connected. She's my best friend. We have a joke from the movie Twins. Danny DeVito says a line to Arnold Schwarzenegger. He says, "I was halfway to Brazil, and all of a sudden, I felt you." And
Yeah,
we say that to each other because we do have a real spiritual connection.
yeah.
And my
Miles Jackson
sister is
says,
extremely spiritual.
yeah,
Like she's divine.
well, Miles Jackson, 73, says everything is planned, and that is a really important thing to say. Everything is planned to occur synchronistically at specific times. People, if you know what the word synchronicity means, it means that if you come in contact with certain things or people, and you have a synchronistic experience, synchronicity. When this happened, when she explained about the diamond-shaped craft, and you explained what was happening, that point was a point of synchronicity for both of you, correct?
Yeah. Oh, and I didn't tell you this. She said this craft was probably 5 times the size of the plane.
I knew that already, that it was a huge spaceship. It was probably a mothership, is what I'm getting. Yeah, she
She
was
said
looking
the
at a
most
mothership
beautiful
from the
thing
air.
she's ever seen. She
Yeah,
said it looked.
yeah,
She said, James, it was like a diamond just shining in the sky. She'd never seen anything like it.
yeah. Oh, yeah. This is what I'm. That goes into the relativity of all the things that are happening individually with people having contact. Like that was. Has she seen a spaceship before?
Oh yeah, yeah. They see
Oh, she
how
has.
it was. She said it was within. It was within view of. She said she can see other planes and this craft. So, the
Okay.
human eye can't see that far, but she said it was the
Right.
brightest thing she'd ever seen. And she said it
Yeah.
was not the sun reflecting off of a plane. It was not
Right.
the headlights from another plane. She
Right.
said this thing was stationary while they were moving.
Right. No, I got you. No, I would suspect in the airline industry that she has probably seen many things, but this I would think, I'm not saying I don't know this for a fact, but this must be the biggest spaceship she's ever seen in an airline flight.
Yeah, other than that, and the jellyfish one that she said was, probably 300 feet long.
And the jellyfish one, which April has explained, they actually are cleaning up our environment. Those are out there when the people see these jellyfish things in the sky, they're cleaning the environment, which is being poisoned by our Earth-based whatever that's doing it, and they're out there to clean the environment. So
Yeah,
those are
they're
they have
there.
a
They are out there.
yeah, they are. They're real and they are cleaning the environment. So if you ever see those things, they are actually with the Ashtar Command. They're used to clean up our Earth environment, chemtrails, and all the other stuff that has been going on our planet for a lot of years here in our current human history. But that is very interesting, and the synchronicity. You're having all these revelations of cosmic experiences now that are probably blowing your mind. And when I say blowing your mind, that's a good thing. So if
Oh,
you can ever,
Commander, it's so funny you're saying this. Last night, you notice how I just jumped off of your show without saying goodbye?
yeah, something happened.
Absolutely.
I
I
knew
was
something happened. What was it?
I was at my hotel and I this guy was walking up that I'd met him at the buffet breakfast earlier in the day. So I was saying, hey, and I said to him, hey, I'm on my, I had at the time my mic was muted. I said, "Hey, I'm on my show with the commander. Have you ever had any, UFO experiences?" And he said, "I don't know if I had a UFO experience, but I had, I have had some type of, like a creature, like a Bigfoot type experience."
Oh, interesting.
And he said he was in New Zealand and he was doing a hike in New Zealand and he was by himself, and he said that he came up to a like a plateau,
Mm-hmm.
and he saw at first, this is where the story gets weird. At first he saw a uh big white albino moose,
Mm-hmm.
and it had white, he said it had white eyes, and it was about 10 feet away from him. And he said then he goes further on the path and he saw what he could only explain as a Bigfoot
Yeah.
in the path.
Mm-hmm.
So he gets done, he's a little freaked out. The next day he goes to work and he's telling the guys at work the story. And he says, "Hey guys, I was on a hike. I saw an albino moose and possibly a Bigfoot." Now, they didn't know what a Bigfoot was because this guy was American and he was
Yeah.
working with guys from New Zealand.
Okay.
But they were not even fazed by the Bigfoot. They were more fazed by the albino moose. So
really?
the locals, the guys that were working, because this guy's a contractor, so he hires locals to do, like, the laying of the block and
Right.
the labor. He
Whatever
said
that is. Yeah.
the locals were looking at him like he was crazy because there's no moose on the island of New Zealand.
Oh my god.
Really?
No mooses at all.
That's crazy.
But he himself, in his own experience, saw an albino moose.
Right. So the story is that in the 1920s, they brought over all of these animals to New Zealand to try to introduce them to the land. Cows,
Right.
horses,
Right.
moose,
Right.
sheep, goats, and the only animals that survived were the sheep and the goats.
Mm-hmm.
All of the rest of them couldn't, like, they couldn't adapt or whatever. Nature took its course.
Right.
None of them survived. So, nobody had seen a moose on the island in 70 years. And
Wow.
the last time somebody even said a story about an albino moose was in the 1940s.
Wow.
Crazy.
So he thinks that now this man works with, I want to say he works in, I don't want to give away his job because it's kind of he asked for secrecy, but he's doing a lot of good work. He's doing
Mm-hmm.
things that are is good for the collective of Earth. And I asked him if he was, spiritual in any way, and he said no. And I said, "Listen, you're doing really good things, and whether you're spiritual or not, the universe is trying to tell you that you're special, man, and
Mm-hmm.
that you seeing that was them. That's a blessing. That's you have to dig in. You have to find your thing." I said, "You need to come check out the Commander's show and
Yeah.
come watch with us and just open your mind a little bit." And he was real happy that I said it to him like that. He was like, "I never even thought of it like that," because the locals were like, they were treating it like such an important thing that I saw this moose, and I just thought that I saw a moose because to him it was physically real, but to us we knew it was, he saw like a spirit animal,
Right.
which is a
Interesting.
beautiful thing to see.
Yeah, if you can see a spirit animal, that is beautiful. And the thing is, for people, whether you call it Sasquatch, the abominable snowman in the Himalayas, or Bigfoot, these are just names we call it for lack of a better terminology, but the Bigfoots do exist, and they exist throughout the world. Just like everything else that we talk about here exists, even if the human being hasn't experienced it yet. There have been documented cases of people seeing Bigfoots all over the place. And we call it Bigfoot, but that's just the Earth-based word we use. We don't know what their actual beingness is. Sasquatch, Bigfoot, like abominable snowman. There might be other terms if you're down south. There's another name for the Bigfoot. So depending what part of the world you're in, there's different names for the same being, which we call a Bigfoot.
Yowie. I think they call it Yowie down there.
Yowie. Yeah, Yowie. I think Yowie in the south. I think that's right. Southeastern United States, that area. They're all,
No, New Zealand. I think that's what they call it in New Zealand.
Oh, New Zealand? Okay.
Yowie.
And then there's the Yeti. And the Yeti is from what part of the world? Where they call Yeti? Yeti, I think, is in the Himalayas.
Yeti is Nepal, China.
Nepal, yeah, China.
When I went to the Bigfoot Museum, I watched they got a documentary going over there's like 60 different names. They go through all the names. They go through all the different cultural stories and like the different time periods that all talk about Bigfoot being real, because he's been documented through all throughout history, every religion, every society.
Yeah. And also, just to take a little mini break, we're at 54,000, 55,000. We'd like to get up to 100,000 likes on the show. We can do it. We have 247 people. Since I've been on here, since around 11 o'clock, we've had 4,600 people watch the show since 11 p.m. Eastern. 4,600.
Hey, if you guys get Commander up to 100,000 likes, Kit Kat will do the cowboy dance.
I don't.
Yeah, and she has no idea. So yeah,
you're gonna come up and hang out, Kit Kat. You gotta be willing to do the dance.
Yep. And but it's all good. And Kit Kat is going to be with us in Connecticut Saturday night. Kit Kat, if you need any more information how to get to the location once we're off the air, just message me and I'll help you. But if you know how you're going to get there,
Kit Kat's got it. She's got her hotel booked. She's ready to rock and roll.
Yeah, probably. But it's all good. Dance to the Commander's singing, so. But in all truth, it's really the story you just talked about, James, with this gentleman, and also the story with your sister with the diamond-shaped hovering ship that was 10 times bigger than any jet or airplane is fascinating. And that this is exactly what we're talking about. The ships of light, the star people are here now. They will appear and disappear at will wherever they wish to be. And the experience with the rainbows that you and the other gentleman had, he rolled down his window, everything has a reason, right? Everything has a purpose. And I think now everyone's going to have experiences. You're starting to be dramatically impacted by cosmic experiences that you have not had before in your life. That's shaking in a good way your brain to not be in control of your physical realm so much. And I can see that transformation since you've had the initial experiences and what you're experiencing now, and more experiences that you're having that are like, I can't believe I just had this experience. So that's another experience. So how many, there's no limit to the experiences. Now that you're wide open in terms of your spiritual awakeness, you're going to have many more experiences that are just going to start happening for you. You're just not going to know when they're going to happen. They're going to happen when they're supposed to happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Listen, I was gonna say that. Oh man, I had a brain fart right there, Commander.
If somebody wants to come up, who is that? Palestine. Palestine, before I bring you up, can you tell me what you wish to contribute to our discussion? Thank you for the roses, Palestine. Can you tell us what you want to contribute to the discussion? And thank you again for the roses, Jude. Thank you for the roses. I thank you about the eclipse. Okay, Palestine,
You
we'll bring you up on that.
everybody.
Hey, New Orleans, good to see you. I have 3 more hats. Thank you. Wow, Jude, thank you. I have 3 more hats.
Whoa! Thank you for the gifts for Commander, guys.
Yeah, and I have 3 more hats that I'd like people to take. I'm going to pin that up here. A matter of fact, I'll pin that up right now. I want to complete that. That's known as the cowboy hat. It's 199 TikTok coins to give me a thank you very much, Yaya Spirit. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Man, Jude, you're a blessing. We love you unconditionally. We love everybody unconditionally. You know that.
Oh, he saw something. He saw something during the eclipse, Commander.
We're going to send
Palestine.
Palestine.
I remember what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Somebody asked why they didn't get a picture of what they saw.
Yeah, they were asking that.
So
Yeah.
two things.
What's up, guys?
Two
How you
things.
guys doing?
One,
Hey,
they're
hold on.
working.
Yep.
And two, they don't really like to report those things or take pictures of it or even really
that's
talk
typical.
about it.
And that's typical for the airline industry. And I also want to invite Palestine up here. Welcome to Encounters, the number one
Hello,
spiritual
Palestine.
UFO talk show on
Thank
social
you guys.
media.
Thank you guys for inviting me. It's an honor.
Well, it's glad to have you. Whereabouts are you, Palestine?
I'm in New York.
New York, okay. So tell us about the eclipse. You had something occur during the eclipse. I've heard many stories, and people have videotaped many different things during the eclipse. Can you tell us what your experiences have been?
Yeah, well, while I was looking up at the eclipse, it was a strange phenomenon. You know, while I was covering the sun, I saw your mama's fat ass.
Wait a minute. Let's see. I'm going to take this person out here. Okay. You see, this is why I don't trust people, sometimes. Well, not even say I trust people, but there's always going to be a troll here. So let's see here.
I swear.
Let me.
Man, Kit Kat, why is it gotta happen when we're up
I
here?
know.
But you know what? The good news
what he
is
said. I was like,
I-
wait, did I just hear what he just said?
I just blocked him
That was so
as moderator. I actually am ahead of everybody there. So he no longer can see our broadcast. He's been blocked out. And that's a good thing, folks. So once in a while, we do get these people here, and I just blocked him, and he will be no longer around. All right.
Yeah.
We took him right out. He's in outer space now, folks. Don't even worry about him. He doesn't even
Into a
exist.
black hole.
The commander, when you're a troll and you're dealing with the commander on a talk show, watch
Commander's like Chuck Norris over here.
out. I just took him right out.
That's right.
But anyway, the thing is the things that
But we can
talk
still
about,
laugh about it.
we can laugh about it because we have the last laugh, and he's like saying, "What happened to me? Where am I?"
He's like, I just got kicked off the #1 UFO talk show on TikTok.
That's basically right. He got knocked off the #1 UFO
Commander,
talk show on TikTok.
what if they're gonna start a trend and they're like, who can razz Commander? We're gonna have to start screening people.
Yeah,
They're gonna have to message us a day in advance. There's sometimes
Thank you for
some
that.
hosts that do that.
Yeah. The one thing with me, because I've been on media for a long time, there's nothing that gets me excited. If somebody trolls, our moderators can just mute them or take them out. And the commander, the commander is that kind of person that, you when you try to troll us and try to do kind of crazy things here on a talk show, we're gonna take him right out. We take
Commander
him right out.
will kick your Ashtar command.
Right. And you notice how I'm not even riled up from it because I know that I have the power to kick him out, and I did. There you go.
You got that. You were ready. Your hand was on the trigger.
Oh, my hand is ready to go on the trigger. When the trolls come in, never fear, the commander is here.
Yeah.
Whoa, everybody. That right there, you heard it.
You heard it from me, man. Don't fool with the commander if you're a troll, because I'll just Bust your matrix up and you won't be able to see
Commander
it.
with the straight shot.
And
That's
you know,
funny.
and the reason why we're laughing is because that's nothing to me. I mean, there's nothing to that. It's just like
Commander's been dealing with trolls since 1979.
yep, since the 1900s I've been dealing with them before there was any internet.
1900s.
You know, I'm just kidding you, but
The look
you know,
on Commander's face was priceless because it was funny because he put his hand together into like the peace sign and then he was like, "Oh heck!" It was
man.
funny.
You know, and I make people laugh, you know, in a good way. And I did use the yes, Rod, Tahar. Maybe I should bring the. I thought people like I should bring a new goal up, but I need to get one more hat before I do that. I will bring up the next thing on my goal here. I thank you all the people for your support. You know, so if anyone can take that other hat that's waiting, there's like 241 people here. The hat is like 199 TikTok coins. But you know, if you have TikTok coins, you can afford to take the hat, and I'll wear it. But I'm going to go to the other hat.
He said, "I'll wear it."
You know,
now you got to see it wear.
But I can't wear the hat unless somebody gives me the hat. You know?
That's
Hey,
funny.
you know. So you know I have a sense of humor. That's why I don't get bothered by trolls or any of these people because they say, "Why is he so happy after I just did this?" Because you didn't make any difference. You didn't.
Darlene sent one and it didn't show up.
It did show up.
That was cool.
I like that. Thank you. Thank you for the. For the glasses. Who sent me? You sent one that didn't show up. TikTok is kind of weird with the technology here, but we will actually switch to this other thing. Seriously speaking, I changed the goals a few minutes here, but as you know, getting back into what we're talking about, you know, we have such a beautiful thing coming up this weekend on April 13th at 8 o'clock. We're going live. I'm getting together earlier in the day with a few of the people that don't have the TikTok or social media, my Astro Command co-coordinator and his wife, and my wife and April and so forth. And we're going to, you know, just basically have some preliminary discussions before the nighttime earlier in the day. So we're getting, you know, everything's planned. Tomorrow I have the day off. I'm spending time meditating, doing logistics and contact with people. Some finalized contacts by phone and so forth, and even through TikTok and messaging systems. But it's really going to be a very important. Thank you. We did. I did. Thank you, Deborah. Thank you. It did work that time.
Deborah now. Thank you, Deborah. Thank you, Deborah.
And we did reach our goal, and that is a beautiful thing that people can show their support for what we're doing. Let me see. Where's the? I gotta go backwards here. So setting up a different goal here. And every time I do this and you give me gifts that, you know, I really appreciate it so much. So I'm going to go to a new goal. I think one that I know most people like for some reason, and I like it too. We're going to do, actually, we'll do this. I'm going to do this here. I appreciate everybody being here, watching the show, and I hope you're getting as much information and education and being able to interact with us. You know, and this show is going to be on my YouTube channel. Tomorrow morning we'll be able to. We've been all our broadcasts here on my YouTube channel. I'm all caught up with all the shows, and I just want to make sure this is okay. Wait, that's not exactly what I wanted. I'm not sure how that happened. We're resetting the thing here because it's not putting the right thing up. Let me see here. And there's somebody requesting to come on. Before I put anybody on here, I'm going to make sure that they are coming here for the right reasons. I'm going to unpin the goal.
Yeah, you better pass the sniff test.
Let me see here.
No more zingers
I'm just setting
zingers tonight.
Okay, so now changing the goal to what I wanted it to be here. Let's change it to 8. Okay, now this should work. Let's see here. And I'm confirming it. All right. So I've got it confirmed. I'm pinning the goal here, and I'm CmdrAleon. For new people here, I work with the Ashtar Galactic Command. If you're new to my show,
Oh,
welcome.
Commander, it's Ashley. Ashley is saying she's the one trying to come on.
Oh, Ashley does. Okay, let me bring Ashley up here. Thank you for the hat. Ashley will bring Ashley up because we know who she is.
You down? Thank you for the hat now. Thank you,
Thank you again
darling,
for the hat.
Thank you.
Ding, 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 ding. And Ashley, hey, good to see you. Once the computer stops moving the TikTok thingy, Ashley will be on here in a second. I think there's some lagging on TikTok tonight. Hey, Ashley, how you doing? Hey, Ashley.
Good. How are you?
We're doing good. How are you?
I had a question. I'm good. I had a question. I just got home from work. I was at Meyer, but and I was going back listening to the show, so I don't know what's going on. Is it okay if I ask a question? Because I don't know what you guys are talking about right now.
Oh, no, we're
okay?
definitely doing. Yeah, absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely.
Okay. When Steve was on the other night, I can't remember his last name.
Oh, Steve Houston.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
having
yeah.
contact with the star
said,
beings.
Yeah, he had mentioned something about the being wearing the white with the gold like crown and the blue necklace. And when I was, and that
Yes.
reminded me, I'm 40 now, and when I was 17, I had went to my best friend's house, and there was about 3 or 4 of us. And when we walked into her house, we rarely went there, but when I walked in there, her aunt turned out to be like a psychic, and I had never seen a psychic before. And she looked at me and she was like, "Oh my God." I never met her. She's like, "Oh my gosh, you're one of those." I don't know, remember the name that she said. And
Yeah.
she said that's what I look like when I came into the room.
Did you want to?
What
Would you want?
Steve
Would you
said
like
that.
to? Steve's on. You want to talk to Steven and say hello to him?
Yeah. Hi, Steve.
Okay, hold on.
Do you know the name of that? Because
I'm bringing Steve on. You can actually talk to Steve. So we're bringing Steve on, who was a phenomenal guest on the show. So rather than trying to ask him in sentences, hey, Steve, good evening, brother.
Hi, good evening, brothers and sisters.
And say hello to Ashley. She had listened to a lot of what you were sharing. So go ahead.
Hey, Ashley. I was just hearing her.
So Ashley, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, Ashley.
So I was wondering, I didn't know do you know what the name of those are? Because I don't know, like I haven't had any like contact, but when you had said what they were wearing, she said that, and she was like, "Can I give you a reading?" And I said, "Yeah, absolutely." And she had said everything that was going to happen to me up until now, and I've never told anybody what she said because I wanted it to come true. And so far it has. Everything that she has told me has come true. And I still have never told anybody what she said, but she said that's what I would look like when I came into the room. And she was like, "Oh my gosh, can I read you?" So I just didn't know if you knew like the name of those beings that you were talking about. Because
my understanding and the feeling I got based on my knowledge today, because I was only 9 when that happened, is that they are Pleiadians.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
that helps a lot. Because
Pleiadians. That's the understanding that I have now. Unless that changes, I wouldn't really know any other way to say that who they are, other than I received that message.
Okay,
if that makes sense.
I'll have to look into that because I haven't. Yeah, because I don't know about the different space
beings,
brothers and sisters.
Yeah,
I don't know. Yes, I don't.
A few.
So I will look into that then.
I know that the government had cataloged 68 different species, and more than 20% were human in appearance. And that's an old study. I don't know what it is today.
Right. So actually, today I would tell you that it's about 70% human, maybe even slightly more than that. And actually, it's like 5% that don't look physically. Don't look physically. Whoops! I hear a bunch of kids in the background. that don't look physically human, but
Yeah.
so I would say that the majority, including the star people, are human. Taller than we are, they're men, women, their children are human, like we are, but there is
Okay.
maybe a
I'm
5%
6 foot tall
chance.
too.
You're 6 foot tall. Wow,
Yeah.
interesting.
Yes. Okay, that's
Interesting.
cool. I will look into that
Yeah,
tonight
and you
after
know
the
what's
show then.
interesting is that as far as like the only thing I can say about that beautiful, it was a crystal, some kind of crystal, but it came from their planet.
Yeah,
Okay.
It was beautiful though. I mean, it was just, I don't know, to even. I think a lot of people have questioned me when I give such detailed information about it because I was 9 years old when that happened, and honestly, when you really think about how we remember things and then how we disseminate information as time goes on, it changes a lot.
yeah,
And I know that just through police training and academy training, and so but I can only tell you that that memory has stayed very vivid and very clear with me since age 9, even though.
yeah.
Wow.
And in a moment, we're going to bring on a person named Arod. I think it's a she. She says, my dream, it was a spaceship. My brother said they are our parents, left me an item, can't get to it. Let me see if Arod would like to join us on here on Encounters. Arod, if you wish to join us, oh, good, good. I'm just gonna introduce everybody here on the show. I'm the host of the show. Arod, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Okay, and so I just was very intrigued by what you were saying. We have Steve Houston's who's been a guest on our show. He's had connections to Star People as a child. Ashley. We have Down Rabbit Hole, who's had some
Hello.
incredible transformational experiences with the Star People and the angelic people. Kit Kat, who's with our group, that is part of our group here, that will be coming to Connecticut for April the 13th and is also part of our group of 5, including my friend April in Vermont, who's been on the ship about 12 times at 4 o'clock this morning. We're going to be going together at some point in the next 6 months off planet physically. And so, welcome to the show. And can you tell us a little bit about your experiences and when it started? I find it interesting, your last sentence that you're talking about. Very interesting. Hey, Rod, if you're there, go ahead.
Mine happened. Oh my goodness, this was like about 30 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I like I woke up and my older brother had passed away, probably about 5 years. I woke up
Mm-hmm.
one day and I seen him and it startled me, it scared me, and he disappeared just as fast. Well, I would say 2 weeks later went by, and I was asleep, and I remember this little boy. I could never see a face, but I knew it was a little boy. He was waking me up, telling me that there was a park, I mean a carnival happening at the park, and I told
Mm-hmm.
him that he needed to go to sleep. And he said he was persistent. So I get up, I go, he takes me outside. I go and stand in the sidewalk, and I see a carnival, like I see all the lights. And then I hear a lady say, "Hey, what's going on?" I look towards my door, and all I see is silhouettes. I see her, a tall lady, and a little person next to her. And I said, "It looks like there's a carnival." I said, "But it's moving this way." And she
Mm-hmm.
said, she called out, "Adam, get inside." And I looked down and I said, "Adam, get inside." And the little one was coming out, and I said, "Crystal, get inside." And as soon as that happened, I see a police car, and I turned, and by the time I knew it, I was inside this thing. And
You're
I was,
inside. When you say you're inside this thing, are you saying you're inside a spaceship?
that's, yes.
Okay.
And I'm floating, and it's huge. This thing is
Wait a minute.
huge.
Let me. I'm going to mute Steve. I got to mute you. Hold on a second here. Muting Steve. I'm muting your mic. Too much noise while he's telling his story. Go ahead, A Rod.
Yes, and this thing is huge, and I'm floating, I'm gliding, and I look down, and I see hundreds, and I'm talking about hundreds of these white people, but they're little, they're short, probably up to my hip, and all of a sudden I'm on a platform, and there's a bunch of them in front of me. They all split open. One of them comes towards me, and if you've ever yawned and tried to open your eyes and things are blurry,
Yeah.
that's how this thing got in front of me. And I remember I wiped my eyes, and as soon as I got done, it was my brother. And I said, "What's going on?" He goes, "Look, look, look. I don't want you to get scared." And I said, "Well, I'm not scared." He goes, "Well, I didn't mean to scare you the other day." I like, "So it wasn't a dream?" And he goes, "No. And you got scared, so I left." I said, "Okay. So what do you need from me?" He said, "Look, we need to run some tests." And I said, "Bro, you know and he started laughing. He goes, I know you're scared of needles. I know. You're not going to feel a thing." I said, "Are you sure?" He says, "Yes."
Now, is your brother in this particular situation on a spaceship?
Yes.
Okay, so
He was
so
one of
how
the,
what?
Wow.
he was one of the
So,
little ones that walked up towards me.
Wait,
mhm.
wait, yeah. Let him finish, Commander. Then we gotta ask him
Continue.
questions.
Yeah, I have a
Now,
lot of questions. Go ahead.
Yep.
now he said, I need you to follow these two.
Okay, who's got the who's got a
That's
phone beeping?
that is
Okay,
my hold on.
yeah, try to.
That's TikTok.
Okay, go
Uh
ahead. Continue.
he said, I need you to follow these two. They're gonna take you, and we're gonna run some tests. I said, "Some test? What test?" He goes, "Look, look. You've read the Bible, right?" I said, "Yeah. The Bible says that in heaven we are all the same. We're all equal. We don't treat each other any differently." I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Look around. What do you see?" I said, "You know what? They're all the same size. They're all the same build. They're all the same. There's nothing different." He goes, "This is what I'm talking about. This is what the Bible's talking about." I said, "Okay, well," he goes, "but we need to check on our kids. We need to make sure you guys are okay. So you need to follow these two." I said, "All right." So I followed these two and to this really, really bright light. And as soon as I walked in, I was walking out.
So let me ask you a question. You walked in a really bright light, and I keep getting you were taken on a spaceship somewhere.
Yes.
Okay. So your brother was on a spaceship. This leads to so many questions, which actually goes back to the idea that in the so-called what we call star family, the bodies of an Earth-based person are in state. The body of the Earth-based person, the star people, the star body, and there's different types of extraterrestrial intelligence that could be in stasis until you go out. So your brother was no longer on Earth, but he went back to what I call Arod, a body that was in stasis. Did he explain to you anything about him?
Wait, I wanted to ask too. After this experience, did you talk to your brother about it?
Well, after I passed through the light, his back was turned towards me. I walked up to him and I said, we used to call him Tati. His name is Raul, but we called him Tati as a nickname. And I said, "Hey, Tati." And he turns around. He says, "Did you feel anything?" I said, "No, I didn't feel nothing." Was that it? And he said, "Yeah, that's all the tests we needed to do to make sure our kids are okay." I said, "Okay, so what next?" He goes, "Look, if you don't believe this happened to you, I'm gonna give you this, what y'all call a DVD. Well, I mean, not a DVD, a VHS, and I'm gonna give you this." I said, "No, no, 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 bro." I said, "You can't give me anything. If you give me something, they're gonna take it away from me," which I'm talking about our government. And he says, "Yeah, you know what? You're right." He goes, "Do you remember our secret hiding place?" I said, "Bro, I know exactly what you're talking about." He goes, "Are you sure?" I said, You got my word. I know exactly what you're talking about." He goes, "Okay."
Oh my
He said, "Well,
gosh.
it'll be there for you if you don't believe this happened to you. And we want you to show others that we do
Ooh,
exist and we're checking on our kids." I
it's
said,
got the
"Okay."
chills.
He said, "Now this contraption, he, I'm gonna show you how to open it because if you need me, this is how you open it." And he
Right.
twisted it, and then he twisted it, and then it opened, and then there was like a little button, and you push that, and I'll come back to you. I said, okay. I
Right.
woke up, boom, I don't remember anything.
Right.
7 years after that, 7 years after that, I had
Right.
my two kids. And I did not think about it. My first boy was Adam, my girl, Crystal. I
Interesting.
didn't even
So,
know their names back then because this was 7 years
what?
before the dream.
Now, Arod, in the dream, again, a cosmic dream is in a state going into another reality. So there are dreams that are just dreams, and there are realities that are realities. And I always, in my workshops, tell people understand the difference between a dream where you see a bunch of apples running around in a kitchen with a cream pie or something. That's just a regular dream. What you're detailing is a dream that is a reality. So when you went to sleep, what you call a dream was the state in which you met the space people in that dream. That was the way
No,
of
he didn't.
communicating.
He didn't go to a dream commander. He was standing there and he was beamed
He,
up. He
yeah,
was in his house.
he was physically awake. That's what I'm trying to say. You were physically awake, right?
Yes.
You were physically awake. So there was no dream in the sense of what we call a dream. Everything he did was real. You were not like sleeping and dreaming this. You were having
Right.
this device you were talking about that he says just open it up, which I find
Oh God,
fascinating.
I still remember how to do it, and that's been what close to
Wait a
that's been
second.
twenty
Did
some
you
years
go
ago.
to the hiding place?
I cannot remember. Well, as soon as I woke up, poof, it was gone.
So you don't remember the hiding
At
place.
all. Not one single bit of
Mm.
it. I
So
do
wait,
not get.
in real life, does your brother is he still alive?
No, he passed away about 5 years before that dream.
Okay,
Oh
okay.
man.
See,
Yeah.
that's the thing. Now,
Oh.
when you were kids, was there a place or a hiding place or a cave or something that you can kind of meditate on? I think you're going to need to meditate on this and focus, and you can bring back some
Yeah,
memory of that.
he's got that memory in there. It's
It's
in
there.
there.
It's in there somewhere. Are you able to? Do you know how to meditate or go into a meditative state?
No, I have never done that.
Really, really, and that's
Oh,
okay. I mean,
A-Rod, my man.
that's okay. I mean, not everybody knows how to meditate, but
We're gonna hook you up.
yeah, you need to. So what you're going to want to do is take time to. You're going to have to clear your mental state away from everything else in order to do this. So you're going to have to say to yourself, You remember this experience. You remember the ship. You do remember certain things. So what you need to do is go back into that memory, into meditation, and say, I wish to remember where this location is of where the cave is or this hiding place is. I wish to remember where it is. And if you go into that meditative state and you might use the word you or om, which is two words that are high vibrational frequency words.
Hmm.
As you use those words, you'll be able to get into a deep state of meditation. So you need to also clear your mind or your thoughts out. And to do this, the other part of it is when you're doing that whole thing, you're going to take like 3 or 4 deep breaths and breathe in through your mouth and breathe out of your nostril about 3 or 4 times with your eyes closed until your whole body and your mind are relaxed. When your mind's relaxed, then what you're going to do is say, I wish to remember where the hiding place is that my brother and I used to go to, because that hiding place is not far. It's just that you have it in the back of your consciousness. You just have to bring it to the forefront of your consciousness. And it might take you a little bit of time to do that. And there's no rush, but you definitely need to learn how to meditate in order to focus. Just picture the experience and picture what he said about the area where this was. You'll come back to the memory of that area in order to be able to find it. And that device will be in whatever that area is. That device is still there. You just don't know where it is yet.
Yeah, that would.
You know what I mean?
I'm gonna give it a shot. Like I
Yeah.
said,
A-Rod, have you
I really want to see the video. I mean that'll prove to everything that it did happen,
since
like
that
he said.
since that happened, did you have any other experiences?
Yeah.
Like no, none, no,
None.
So wait, now in the beginning of your story, you said you were in the house and you saw a tall being?
no, no, no. It was a little boy, and
Little
he was
boy.
waking me up. he was waking me up to tell me that there was a carnival happening at the park, and I told him to go to
Carnival.
sleep. But because he saw lights, and it was just a bunch of lights flashing.
Oh, and when you looked out the front door, you saw the cops, and then you were
Yeah.
gone.
Right.
Yeah.
That's when I turned around and seen an officer pull up to a four-way, and I said, "What the?" And that was it. I was inside. But what was
Right.
funny is that about 3 years after that dream is when that movie came out with Will Smith,
Yeah.
with the aliens.
With ETs, yeah.
Remember when they're in this, like they put the bomb in their spaceship, and then they go into that big spaceship, and they're floating, and you see all those hundreds of the like I don't know what you would call them in the movie.
Are you saying? Are you
Like
talking about?
no, not Men in Black, Independence Day.
Independence Day.
Yeah. Well, that's.
Yeah, you remember that part where they put the bomb in the spaceship, and then they went up to the mothership, and as it opened the door, they went inside the mothership, and
Right.
you see all of that's exactly. And what was weird is that when I saw that scene right there, brought back that memory. I came right back to it.
Right. But the experience though that you had versus the Hollywood hype movie was way different than the movie,
Yes,
correct?
yes.
Okay.
It was
Just to
just
make
that.
sure.
Yeah, it was total. Not the same because mine were all like it was just different. But that scene where they're gliding in there, I was like, oh my god, wait a minute! I had
Right.
that dream. I had that part right there.
Right. So the other thing about your story is when you talk about a police car flashing and then bam, you were gone, you were on the spaceship, they were using visual images that were understandable to you before you went on the ship. So you were seeing this image of what looked to be a police car, and in fact, what really was happening, you were actually transported into a different frequency of consciousness, and you were right on the ship.
And that's
Like
that's
when,
why that's why they came as his brother too to
right, that's right.
put him at ease.
Yeah, basically a
It
familiar
was
face.
A-Rod, it was a real spiritual moment, and Commander's right. Meditation
Mm-hmm.
is gonna unlock a lot for you.
Okay.
It will. It'll help you. You really need to do that. I'm being guided by um, the Ashtar Command
People don't have experiences like this every day, so
No, it's not.
there's a I hate to say the chosen ones, but when you have contact like that, it's for a reason.
And it's nothing wrong with saying chosen ones. There's no ego in saying that. Just like with the group that we're with, we're not. Any of us are egotistical. We're all down to earth. We all have different ways of life, and that we come from different states and different places. And we're in humble service. I mean, we're all very humble. We have no ego, And so I can tell you're a very humble person as well. And you could reconnect with those space people because now that you've had the connection, there's the only reason when you haven't connected to them is because I don't think you knew how to. Well, not that you didn't know how. I don't think it's been your focus. You've been living your life like anybody else. Why wouldn't you? You're a human being. You're living your life. But this other thing is so important that you reconnect to that level. And I can tell by your story, there was no negative experience in that situation. You didn't feel anything negative occur, correct?
No, nothing.
Everything that happened to you, A-Rod, was based on like no fear, a lot of love, and I get the feeling that the space people you communicated with had a great deal of respect and love for you. Am I correct?
That's what it felt like.
Yeah.
Seriously, that's what it
Okay.
felt like.
No, I can understand that. Yeah, you need to just do some meditation, learn how to do it. You can use some higher dimensional vibrational music, which I'd recommend, that will assist you in guiding you. You can start with just briefly a 30-minute meditation when you have time, if you're not working at home, whatever. Find a quiet space and focus on those
Hey,
memories.
hey, in the chat, somebody says the boy that woke you up, his name was Adam.
Yes.
Wow.
And like I said, I didn't have my kids then, so I never even knew what I was gonna name my kids. It wasn't until
Take care,
after
Ashley.
we had our kids, and it was like a year later. It was like, wait a minute, hold on. My dream said, "Oh wow!" Like, wait a minute, and He's not Junior. My name is Adam too, but he's not Junior. I did not give him Junior because I gave him my brother's name as his middle name.
Mm-hmm.
So he's not Junior.
Yeah.
Your first son, you normally give him the Junior, and I didn't. And Crystal was actually given to us by a coworker, and we liked that name. And it wasn't until, like I said, about a year later, I said, wait. I had a dream about two kids I were going to name Adam, and why wouldn't I call him Junior if he was Junior?
Mm-hmm. Somebody's asking you, Arod, Paranormal Ghostbusters, did he have brown hair?
I don't know.
You don't know. Okay.
I just
All
know
right.
my brother.
He was telling the story. I was picturing like light brown hair with a bowl cut, little kid. Wake up, wake up.
Well, I will tell you this much. In October, just a few months ago, I was at work, and my wife says, "Hey, you didn't tell me you had a coworker you're training." I said, "I'm not training anybody. I'm here by myself." She said, "Don't be lying." She said, "Don't be lying to me." She goes, "Because I don't want to say something stupid." I said, "I am not training any," because we were talking through video chat on Facebook.
Okay.
I said, "There's nobody here," and she said, "I'm gonna take a screenshot and I'm gonna send it to you." And I work by myself. I work security and I work by myself.
Okay.
And she took a picture behind me. There's a bathroom. That door stays open all the time. And the face she caught, wow, it blew
What
my
was the
mind.
face?
Wait a
What was the,
second.
It was
now?
white. It was white. Um, it's like it's so hard to describe. It's just it's
Was
yeah.
it was it a radiant light? Like when people have told stories here, they'll say they saw a being that was radiant in its light form. Can you explain? Did the picture show any kind of radiance of the physical figure?
Yes, the figures
Okay.
that I seen that were small, which all of them were the same size, all of them were the same build, but all of them had the same face, which was like not round, but had a little shape to down to the chin, the little eyes, the little nose.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so
It
it
was
was
the same face.
the ET that you saw in your dream
It was the
was
same
at
face.
your job.
Yes, and
Yeah,
this was just in
basically.
Oh,
October.
Basically.
wow, that's awesome. They're
And
coming
what
to
you?
say, hey, how
And I,
long ago was that?
Yeah.
October?
That.
October.
Yeah. So see, you are having reoccurring contact, which we didn't know until you just mentioned that story.
But the thing is,
And
I've been trying to remember the last almost 30 years
mhm,
where those items are, and I just
mhm.
don't know how to do it. I don't know how to, like,
Well,
how
that's what
can
we're
I
just
get it to
telling.
come
Well,
back?
that's why the
Maybe the item is not maybe they just want you to try to make contact again.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting.
Maybe they thought by giving you that implant in your mind and then taking the memory away, you're gonna reach out to them.
And
That could be a very important aspect. Go ahead,
yeah, and could it be by meditation?
Kit Kat. Did you want to say something?
No, I just said that was a good point.
Oh, okay. Hey, Steve Houston, take care. We're gonna let you go, brother. Thank you for answering Ashley's question earlier. Um, and we're almost at 100,000. We're at 87.9. I thank you people for the gifts. I just to let people know we have 7 more hats that I need to get here before the night ends here. And so if there's 7 other people with 199, I think it is TikTok coins or whatever it is on the hat with the mustache, please show your love and support for what we do here. We appreciate it. But A-Rod, in terms of that, I think what James is saying, thank you very much, Flo. I think the meditation is key. The focus of meditation is key. And I do believe they want to reconnect with you. And I think if you communicate with them again, ask them what planet they're from, ask them where they've come from. There's a connection you have with them, obviously. And
And there's no fear. You're not scared of them.
No,
no,
because
you're not.
once you made me feel like we are y'all's parent, this is what happens after life. This is
Hmm.
what we become. Now we're
Hmm.
here to check on y'all.
Hmm.
I said, okay, well then let's do it.
Thank you, Vet.
As long as there's no needles, we're good. Let's do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
They
So
don't need needles. They just scanned you.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
basically
Yvette,
what it. Yeah.
wait, we got to do. Thank you, Yvette, for the hat. Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah. Thank you so much. And so I want you to promise me that you'll do this. Like when you, whatever day it is, when you're not doing your duties at work, do that 30-minute meditation. You can go on YouTube. You can get higher frequency. Thank you for the hat, Karen. You can get higher frequency
Ding, ding,
music,
ding, ding,
and that
ding.
will help you in that conscious state. Or even like if I type on YouTube Christ conscious ambient music, there is Christ conscious ambient music. Use that. That's the highest frequency, and you'll be amazed of how that will help you in your meditative state. And just say, I wish to connect with my star family that are Christed beings of light. That's always the sentence I would use. And as you continually use that as a mantra, I believe, Arod, you'll have connections to them and other star family members that you have not communicated with yet. I think it's going to be a beautiful thing if you can reestablish the communications.
All right. I do appreciate y'all's help. Y'all are very helpful.
Oh, you're welcome. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
man.
That was an amazing story.
Yeah, your
really,
story is
yeah,
fantastic.
it is fantastic, you know?
Hey, wait, I got a question. Wait, now, do you remember what the ship looked like on the inside?
Yeah, I wanted to know that too.
It was. Wow. How do I describe it? It was huge. I mean, it was this thing was massive,
Hmm.
and it had like a grayish color. Uh, Man, there was some symbols, some shapes. The way the structure was, it was just.
Hmm.
I just looked because I was more focused on what I was seeing on the bot with all these little people.
Right.
I'm gonna call them little people.
Okay.
Uh, but yeah, I did look to the left and to the right. I remember seeing like little structures, like into a T's and the upside down V's.
Yeah, there's probably some ancient languages, what we consider ancient to them is there may be their language from where they come from. So did you get to, in this case, I don't think you got to tour the ship.
No, it was just go straight to where the pad was at, where they were at. My feet went down. They
Hmm.
all looked at me, and then they just split
What the
open,
heck?
and then one of them came towards me, which was my brother.
Yeah. And
Did you?
one of our friends, Scrubs USA Shop, good evening. Welcome to Encounters. Scrubs, did you want to come up? Scrubs? Okay, maybe she didn't want to come up. I don't know. Okay, we'll bring her. I think okay, she was in the request box, but anyway. So this massive ship, I know April, our friend, our family in the Astro Command, they're about 7, 8 feet tall. They're human, and and so she's been on the Astro ships about 12 times as of 4 a.m. Yesterday morning, and she's documented everything. So when you're on this massive ship, did you get to walk around or see anything on the ship? Or you mentioned some of the symbols and writings, which are fascinating. Did they take you to tour the ship at all, or that was in the equation at that point?
Yeah, no, that there was no tour. It was just landed. They split open. One of them came towards me. Followed these two. Went to a bright light. Came out. He was standing back there. Now he was in front of a control. Uh, I guess a control booth where he
Yeah,
was pushing some
yeah.
buttons.
Well, that was probably the command booth for controlling the ship.
Yeah, I don't know.
No,
All I know is that when I said
that's
his
what it
name,
was.
yeah, when I
That's
said
what
his
it was.
nickname, he turned around, and then that's when he
Mm,
was telling me about the VHS and the
mm,
item, and
yeah.
that's it. After that, I woke up and it was like, what was he
And
talking
what's
about?
and surprising on this ship, he was talking about a VHS tape, which that in itself is interesting, considering they come from another planetary system where there is no such thing as having a VHS tape. Do you know why they mentioned VHS tape to you, or he
I am
did, or
I'm thinking that he said that because when he passed, of course, VHS existed back then.
okay,
DVDs didn't exist.
right?
We still had what was it, VHS and cassettes and
Uh,
Walkman.
yeah. Yeah, and I was going to say, Amanda, she's saying, can I make contact if my dog is present while I'm meditating, or does it scare animals? Amanda, it won't scare animals if the space beings you're connecting with are in that cosmic Christed light. Your animals either will be ignoring it or they'll be interested in it, but they won't be scared.
Yeah, like the guy with his cats.
Yeah. And we're almost at 100,000. I want to say I appreciate everybody here at 95.1. I also want to give an update. We've had since 11, prior to 11 o'clock p.m. Eastern, I've had 6,100 people view this show tonight. 6,100.
Wow.
That's totality from 11 till now about 1:37 a.m. in the morning. That's a lot of people. So I want to thank everybody around the world that makes up that 6,100 for actually watching the show.
Yay!
And we're almost at 100,000. You know,
Oh,
it's
Arod,
amazing.
I wanted to, Commander, these weren't grays that he had
I'm not getting that either. You mean Zeta?
an
They're not Zeta,
interaction
no.
with. This is a different type of small
Space people.
ET. Now, let me ask you, Arod, they don't look like the stereotypical ETs, like, like little
Well,
gray aliens, did
well,
they?
well, no, well, it's no great. Like you mean the Zeta with the big eyes and the like the slit for a
Yeah, he
lip
said they
and
look different, more like little people.
Yeah,
little people.
yeah, they were small. They were like probably I'm 5'7", so probably up to my like less probably up to my hip.
Okay,
They
up to your
had
hip.
like five. Did they have more human? They were no clothes, right?
No clothes.
And they
Yeah,
were
No
human
clothes, the
body,
arms,
five
the
fingers.
never got to see that.
okay, then we can
No,
see that.
no, excuse me.
Yeah.
When I did walk with the two, I remember I had to hold my pinkies out, and they grabbed my pinkies on each hand because one was on the right, one was on the left, and I believe they used one finger each one to grab my pinkies, and that's all I saw.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they're definitely.
Oh
When you
wow,
talk
man! I
about
just
their
got the
fate,
chills when he said
when
that.
you talk about
That's
their
such a good detail.
yeah, when you talk about their facial features, they look nothing like there's not so just let people know there's no it's an earth-based word gray, but this is like the Zeta. These I'm not saying yours were Zeta, but there's a thing called Zeta. Do they didn't oh, wait a minute. Okay, we're getting a storm coming into New England right now. Did they look they were little people, but they were humanoid, and can you describe did they have in some of these people like they don't have any space outfits on, which is I always wondered why, but evidently they don't wear space outfits, at least on this ship. None of them had space uniforms on, correct?
No, no, this was their
And no
natural,
hair,
no hair, and
Mm-hmm.
like I
ears.
said, no ears,
Mm.
Oh,
and like I said, my brother said we are all equal here.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's different. Everybody
Mm-hmm.
is identical, just like the Bible says. This is who we
wow.
are. This is who we are when we pass away.
Right. So I think this is in the universe of in the multiverse. This was one grouping of ETs that exist that came from some planetary system. And if I had to gauge where they came from, obviously they came from a very far away place. That's all I'm getting. But yeah, so they are one type that maybe there's a connection there. As you know, there's so many different in the rainbow of, let's say, a rainbow of colors. Just realize that there are many different star people and beings out there that are beyond our comprehension that look different than us. And but over 75% of those out in beyond Earth are human, meaning they look just like us. Our star family from the command are tall, have ears, have hair, are human like us, and they wear spacesuits and they wear outfits. Whereas this particular grouping of beings that you're connecting with, wherever they come from, they don't have, at least in the appearance that they were showing you, they don't wear like a spacesuit, which is interesting.
Yes. Now, I will tell you this much. The picture that I told you my wife took, I look at that picture and I stare at it for a little while, and I still
Mm-hmm.
have it, and it kind of, how would I say, kind of creeps me out after a little while, kind of because
Mm-hmm.
I mean I've had paranormal stuff,
Yeah, we don't
and
get into paranormal though, but go ahead.
yeah, that one is a totally different subject, but I look at it and it creeps me out. But I did. My mom happened to me. She lives in Colorado. She happened to come down to Texas. I said, Mom, I want you to look at this picture and tell me what you think. I pulled it up on my phone and I zoomed in on it, and she said, "Oh, that's your brother." I said,
Oh heck!
How can you see Dotty's picture? She goes, I see his pic. That's him. I'm
Mm-hmm.
looking at it going, Mom, what are you looking at? How do you just, that's your brother. Don't you see it? And I was like,
Wait a
no,
second.
I don't see it. I see this thing. I said, she
Mm-hmm.
goes, that is your brother.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah,
So
that's
you
wild.
see
Yeah.
the synchronicity here. Your mother saw
He's
your
saying,
brother.
yes,
You see the alien.
yes,
The alien took the form of your brother on the
yes,
ship.
Yeah, the
yes,
extraterrestrial being did.
And does
Yeah,
your mom know that story?
yes.
she does.
Yeah.
What does she think about that story?
Well, that story, when I told her about it, she's like, well, if that's what we're going to become when we pass away, then you got to believe your brother. If that's what he told you, then that's what's going to happen.
Right. But also understand this. This is something I need to tell you because I come from Mars, and Mars is a planet of 10 to 15 million inhabitants that are taller than the ones you're talking about, and they're human. We're human like here, but they live in a very spiritual energy of Christ frequency. So, um, where was I going to go? My train of thought got a little bit diverted for a minute. To know that to see what you were seeing is a validation, and like I was saying just a moment ago, a synchronicity that the space people that you're dealing with, I think when you reconnect, you'll be getting more information from. I keep getting,
Okay.
let's see, somebody is Brittany's saying something. Shit up,
No,
si.
she's talking about the fact that it was his brother.
Oh, oh,
She's mesmerized by the
oh,
story,
No,
probably.
interesting.
just
He,
out of,
whatever, he, she, it, they.
Whatever, Brittany, whatever they are, yeah.
I
But
have
I
a question
think,
real quick,
good,
if you don't mind.
yeah.
Now, I see, because
Thank you.
because of what I've experienced back in my younger years of paranormal stuff. So to me,
Hmm.
it kind of creeps me out what I see.
Hmm.
Uh, my mom
And we're gonna
sees
stay. We want to stay
my
for
brother, right?
right.
Now at work, I've shown the picture to the people at work, and some of them are like, "Oh, what is? I don't want to see that. Nope, I don't want to see that." Now I did have one guy that looked. I showed him, and as soon as he looked at it, he goes, "Oh, that's a cute puppy." Do these things show differently to other people?
Oh, wow. That's a
Uh,
good point, Commander. That is very true. I've heard that before.
yeah, I've heard that too.
And it's the same picture.
I think they can change how they want them to be. I think they can change how they want people to perceive them. And I don't know why they do that, but I know that I've heard that before too. In the years of my experiences with the subject, yes, I've heard that.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you gotta remember this is multidimensional and a lot of it's a lot to swallow. I know it's a lot to
Yeah, it
swallow.
is. I mean,
Yeah, and it takes time.
I've experienced paranormal since I've been a little boy, and even till now. Hell, I came into my room and my door opened up by itself. Don't even ask me how
Yeah,
that
but we
happened.
don't want to get into the paranormal.
Yeah,
That's one thing.
but
We just we
now,
complete. Yeah.
yeah, and now this. Now, I did live in South Texas by Corpus Christi,
Hmm.
and I think it was back in the 80s where a white ball was actually caught on video by the news.
Hmm.
And I actually did see that thing one night with me and my neighbors. And next thing I know, the next day I was sick in the dog. I was sick bad, and
Hmm.
went to the hospital. They checked this, checked that, they checked it, nothing. Well, I realized that on my back I have three dots, red
Three
dots that are
dots.
well, I'm sorry, two dots that are
Two
perfectly
dots.
aligned next to
Oh
each
wait,
other. Now,
Okay,
I was
that's
a police.
different.
Now I was a police officer, And one day I was talking to one of my sheriff buddies, and I was telling him what had happened to me, and he goes, "I got a story for you." I was like,
Listen,
I said, "Really?" And he goes, "Yeah." He goes, "One day I was on County Road, Farm Exit, whatever it was, and I was out there at night. I was running radar." I said, "Okay." He said, "Inside my car, pitch dark. I can't see anything. This light came up from underneath the car. I
Are
could
you
see the gas.
serious?
I could see the gas pedal, the brake pedal, my boots. I could see everything. All of a sudden, it got dark, and then the radio came on, and they're going crazy. I'm like, oh shoot, what's going on?" And I grabbed the radio, and they're like, "You need to get over here." So they sent me to the sheriff's department. Well, I was missing 3 hours. They were looking for me.
You were missing three
No, he
hours.
was.
Oh, he was.
He was
But you
missing for
had
3 hours. I was like, "Really?"
so
And he goes, "Yeah." And I said, "Okay." Well, he said the next day I got sick. I was like, "Really?" And he goes, "Yeah." And I said, "Okay." He goes, "Well," and the now I did not tell him about my red spots on my back. He goes,
right,
"But my wife noticed that on my back I got two dots, red dots, perfectly
right,
aligned on next to each other." I was like,
right.
I got the same thing." He goes, "What? No, you don't." I said, "Look, I got the same thing."
Now he had missing time. First of all, that's considered an abduction, which is not necessarily a good thing. Um, that is because I work with the Ashtar command levels. If anyone is abducted by a extraterrestrial being, and they're not allowed to have a choice, we call that a an experience where they're forced to go into a situation and cannot remember it. That is against basically that's against universal law in space between the star beings and those that are not of that consciousness. Those that do it are probably from a 3D physical advanced world, but they for some reason abducted this person, your friend, for 3 hours, and that's totally against everything in terms of the universal laws of contact.
Well,
hey,
there
Rod,
was
you didn't lose any time or feel that you were
You
abducted
didn't
at
have
all,
that,
right?
no, I did not lose. All I know is that I woke up the next day and I just could not remember what he was talking about. But
right?
it's been almost 30 years and I still remember it like it was yesterday.
Right. So your friend, had a completely different encounter then,
Yes, now
because
now my friend, of course, he had to go answer to the sheriff because of course everybody's looking for him. So he told the sheriff what happened. So the sheriff told him, "You need to take me back to that spot." So he took him back. He told me he goes, "I took him back." And the same thing happened to both of us. We lost another 3 hours.
wow,
Now this was in the same area where in Alice, where I had my dream, which was way before I became a police officer.
wow, interesting.
Oh, wow.
So
This place is a hot spot. They happen to both
It
of
is.
them?
and they did catch the white ball and on camera, the news stations and all that, and of course other people caught it. But this was way back in the early 80s.
And how big was the white ball? If it was a white ball in the sky,
Yeah.
and was it relatively big?
Yes.
Okay. So it was probably, now from our perception of reality, folks who are watching, that white ball is probably a spaceship. And that spaceship abducted your friend. My cat is meowing here. We're going to be signing off our show soon. Okay. Um, that ball of light is the actual spaceship that took him, and that's where the missing time happened. Um, at that point, and that was in the
Erod,
1980s.
you gotta send Commander that location on Messenger or send it to me so we can look it up on the map
Take care, Karen.
and see if we got anybody in the area that can go do a CE5. Are you still
Oh,
in the area?
no, no, no. I don't live over there anymore. I'm like 4 hours away from there, but it's Jim Wells County.
Hmm. Are you in an area now where it's built up, or are you in a more countrified area? What kind of setting are you in?
I'm in a city.
You're in a city now. Okay.
Yeah, I went from a small town, which was over there in Jim Wells County, and now I'm in a city.
Okay.
But now this picture, like I said, was just in October, and I'm in a city, so I know this thing is following, and I wish, and I'm praying I'm praying that it's my brother, and I've for the last almost 30 years I've been trying and trying to please come back and tell me, show me again. I got to remember where you were talking about, and I pray and I hope, but it never happens.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Hey,
here's what I'm going to
Arod.
recommend. Yeah, go ahead, Ashley.
Arod, do you know where Rockport is?
Sounds
Right
very
next to
familiar.
Corpus Christi?
Yes,
It's right
yes,
next to that.
yes.
My dad lives there.
Let's see. I'm from Alice.
Oh, okay. Is that where it like would Corpus Christi be, or I mean
Uh,
Rockport
A-
be close
Al-
to where it
yeah,
happened?
yeah. Alice is what is it? 45 minutes west of Corpus.
Oh, okay. 'Cause like he lives there, so I was wondering if I could just like I don't know if
Got
I
to get
need
him
to
to
do
go
something.
go investigate. Where would you say it was again, A-Rod?
It was in the Jim Wells County because you got Alice. Okay, Alice is a small town.
Wait, what
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
county? Jimbles?
Jim Wells,
Jim
Jim
W,
Wells.
yeah,
Wells?
Wells. But it was in the county. But we being in a small town, like you could see it, because it was so bright. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Even though it was in the county, you could see it. But people caught it on. I believe it was, if I'm not mistaken, it was even on the news back then in the '80s where it
Yeah.
was caught.
Well, here's what I'm going to recommend. Again, I'm getting messages directly from the command. Whatever you do, if anyone goes down there, I would recommend that you envelop yourself in the Christed light of protection, that you ask the Ashtar Command to protect you if you're going to do any investigations. And because, again, in this situation, you're not dealing with, when you hear that someone's missing time, not you specifically, A-Rod, but your friend at that point, that was what I call an abduction experience. And so one has to wonder, do you want to go down there and investigate something like that or leave it alone? Because the energies at the time that we're doing, well, actually, a lot of what happened back then is not happening anymore. A lot of what we call the abductions of the 70s and 80s into the early 90s, a lot of those beings that were abducting people have been
Are you
basically
serious?
kicked off planet. Well, the Astro Command is rounding up every single ET on the planet that has been over the last 30 or 40 years abducting people with missing time. They're being escorted one way out.
And this happened in the '80s.
No, I'm saying I'm talking about the experience of the county where your friend who was that
Yes.
white ball situation. That's what I'm talking about. Those types of beings that do what they call abductions are not going to be allowed to do them anymore, whether it be there or in Europe or anywhere else. There's a transformational energy happening on the planet. So those beings that would do, let's say, abductions of humans with missing time, they are being taken off the planet right now. They're being
Okay.
taken off. They're not going to be allowed to be here anymore. Just so you know, our planet is going into what we call an ascended state of consciousness, and the beings that do the abductions cannot go to that frequency because they are advanced, but they're not able spiritually to comprehend what is going to be happening. Because they've been doing these abductions to humans for years, they're being escorted off the planet. Their ships and their beingness will not be able to go where humans are going to go in this particular energy frequency. You might not know this. I don't expect you would, but there's those that have done abductions for 40 or 50 years, and then there is the star people, which are the good Christed beings of light from many planetary systems that are now coming to Earth. And there's a group of the star people. Their mission is to make sure all the ETs that are hiding out that were doing abductions to human beings are being escorted off the planet. They are. They're being taken off.
Okay.
No
Well,
longer is that going to be allowed.
okay. Yeah, and Jim Wells County, like I said, that's where it was in the '80s. That's where
Mhm.
the
Right.
ball happened. I know in Mathis, she might know where I'm talking about. Mathis,
Hmm.
which is it's not too far away from Alice. I know we
Hmm.
were fishing out there one time, and me and my buddy seen it was three of them up in the sky.
Hmm.
But now those are kind of hard to explain because they were so far away. But
Hmm.
one would move to the left, like it's like they were training. Like they had to
Right.
follow the first one. Everywhere the first one went, the other one went exactly in the same spot. And I didn't think I thought I was seeing things until I called one of my friends and I said, "Look, I'm not gonna just look up there." I didn't bother to tell him anything. I said, "Just look up there and tell me what you see." So he looks up there and he's like, "What is going on?" I was like, "I don't
Right,
know." And then he
right.
called his friend and he was like, "Hey, what do you see?" And he's like, "Oh no, it's time to go.
Yeah.
We're out of here." And we left.
Well, speaking of leaving, it's now almost 2 o'clock on the East Coast, so I really want to thank all the guests from the beginning to the end of the night for sharing your stories. We got a long day ahead of us. Thank God I'm not working tomorrow. I'm going to rest, and I have to do some logistical contacts with people for Saturday night. I want to thank everybody for being here. April,
Oh,
Arion, for
Arod, watch. You need to watch Commander's show on the 13th.
yeah, yep.
13th, okay.
Okay, so
He's gonna have contact.
yeah, we're gonna have contact. April, who was on earlier, is a dear friend of mine in Vermont. We have family A-Rod that are on the spaceships that are our bodies, our space bodies are in stasis, meaning that our bodies are alive. We are human as we are here, but we look slightly taller, in our bodies on the ship. Once we go back to those bodies, we have a choice to do that or live on Earth and stay here and do the mission work or whatever we want to do. So we're having a live broadcast on Saturday night, April 13th in Connecticut in an apple orchard field. What we're going to do is we have a surprise visit from our family off planet. They're planning to do something that night, and we're going to videotape it live. We're going to broadcast it live, and we're going to have April, myself, Kit Kat, Chesno, and we're going to be all together with a bunch of other people who are part of our group on a larger scale, and we're going to be facilitating visual contact with our Ashtar Command spaceships, the people on the ships.
I will be watching. Trust me, because I'm so happy I found you guys. Because like I said, it's been almost 30 years, and I don't even know the first step to take. I'm just like I'm. All I can do is pray and say, please come back, and tell me again.
Well,
But
that,
now
well,
the
now you
tape.
know, and now you know the things that he talked about earlier for you about meditation, about focus. If you do
Yes,
those things, you will reconnect with those people. Now that might be part of your cosmic family, but I have a feeling there's more out there. That's not just they're showing you them, which is they're one group of a bazillion different space people. But initially, if you do the meditations and you work on that, I believe you'll reconnect.
I surely do thank your help for all your help, all you guys. Y'all, thank you.
All right. And any final comments from each person? And then we're going to call it a night here for
Um,
tonight's show.
okay, I have one. Down there in Rockport by Corpus Christi, and I don't know, he delivers gas or oil. I'm not sure, but anytime I talk to him about UFOs, he always says, "I don't know."
Hmm.
Said he's
So,
like one of the few in there that has the clearance to, and he's the only one that he works for that delivers to the base there. And I
there's a
wonder if
mil.
I
Is
could
that
get
an?
him
Is
to
that? You should try to
like
get him. Is that an Air Force base or what kind of base is it?
The one in Corpus.
I'm
Ashley, what
not
kind
sure.
of
He just
base?
said the base, like the only one that he
A
works for, or a
base.
few. I don't know, just
There's a
military
military
bases.
base
So
there in
I
Corpus
wonder.
Christi, and that's an Air Force base, or it's an Air
Air.
Force.
Yeah.
They
Oh,
repair the
okay.
Okay.
planes and the helicopters.
I'm gonna
Interesting.
I'm gonna try to get some information out of him.
Okay, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Very good. And Kit Kat, any final comments? Kit Kat's one of the people of the five of us that are going to be in the next 6 months going on the Ashtar Command spaceships, and we're going to be doing mission work. They're going to take us into the oceans to the space bases. We're going to go off planet to who knows where we're going to go. But all I know is that we're going to be coming back with a lot more knowledge and information to share with everybody when we come back. Um, but on Saturday night, I don't want there to be any misconceptions of what's happening. We're not being taken on the ship. I'll be very surprised if that happens. if it happens, we'll have our cameras on and you'll see it happen, but that's not happening. We're going to have visual contact on Saturday night, and that's 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 Central. That's when we're going to start the broadcast, but whatever happens will happen. We're going to be out there for a few hours. I have an extra battery pack that's going to be charged up so that I don't lose any power on the live broadcasting out in the field. So, with that said, anyone else have any final comments? I want to thank everybody who's been up here throughout the evening on our show, Encounters. Our show also is recorded on YouTube. You can watch all the previous shows. Go to my YouTube channel, Ask Turkeyman Spaceship News, please, to actually watch previous shows. Take care, Transcending.
Everybody have a great night. Thank you for sharing your stories, Arod, Ashley, everybody. We love hearing these encounter stories. They truly are amazing. Commander, thank you for having me up, and everybody have a great night.
Yeah, it's time for everyone just take.
I just really look forward to meeting you and everybody Saturday night, and talking to everyone and hearing everyone's stories.
Yeah, and the beautiful thing is everyone who ever thought that this would never happen, what's going to happen Saturday, let me just say this: everything happens for a reason. The universe brought us together. The five of us all came together for a reason, and the Space Command knew what they were doing before we even knew each other. So I want to thank my space parents and the space people of the command for in humble love and service for bringing us together. I want to send my love to everybody out here watching the show. I know a lot of you are going to get ready to go to sleep unless you're on the West Coast or out in the Pacific somewhere. But have a good night, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow night. Friday evening, we'll be going live roughly about 11 o'clock. Take care, everybody. Thank you so much.
Good night.
War Deadpool, good to see you, brother.